Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Apex Season 3. I'm, of course, Atlas, joined by the wonderful Wolf to bring you Day 2 of the Round of 8, and we have the big ones today, Wolf.
That we do. We have, of course, the revenge match potentially for Kongdoo Panthera up against Lunatic-hai. That's my favorite matchup of the night. It was the match that started Apex
some
Season
bias
3.
on the desk. What is this?
And then we have, of course, Afreeca Freecs Blue, the undefeated, going up against Meta Athena, who struggled in their group, just narrowly got out. So
yeah.
Still excited for both series, but the second one definitely, I feel like, is the big one of the two.
Yeah, it certainly is. However, I do want to start talking about our first series because Meta Athena... Not Athena. Come on, guys. Just had enough of that one. But Meta Athena coming off a 3-0 victory themselves, so, you know, they understand the undefeated life. And we do have a new patch. So what have they got in store for us? Because they have been known as a flexible team, even if they aren't one of the teams known to do a lot of diving.
So, I mean, obviously the patch here, the big one is going to be, the soldier damage reduction, but it didn't really affect what we saw last Friday.
No.
And we saw some unusual stuff last Friday, including the Junkrat on attack for Dorado, but none of these patch notes, of course, affect that. The Reaper reload, of course, is going to be pretty nice. You can reload while he's in Wraith form. The Hanzo attack speed, or the charge-up speed for his arrows, is also another big one. We thought we would see more Hanzo, but so far not so much.
And the fact that he can charge his bow as he's climbing a wall as well, you know, to get those sick flicks coming out as well. I don't know, we do have Libero today, so we might see some flexing towards that Hanzo because, you know, he didn't even need a buff and Libero was playing him, so could be an opportunity, but this is our bracket. Of course, Afreeca Blue taking on Meta Athena right now to see whether one of them is going to be facing off against X6. The other, of course, if they lose, are going to be facing off against EnVyUs in that losers bracket.
Yeah, and
you have to lose 2 games, and then you're out, okay? This is the main thing. I know it looks confusing. Win 2, you're through to the semis. Lose 2, you are out.
It's very exciting for the very likely, very possible scenario where we have the rematch between Meta Athena and EnVyUs as an elimination match. They met in groups, but it could be that they meet again for tournament life on the line. Of course, the winner of our second matchup of the night between Lunatic-hai and Kongdoo Panthera will face off against Luxury Watch Blue. The loser will face CONBOX Spirit. So, again, a little bit of a tougher one, I'd say, to really predict in terms of the second matchup here of the night. And there's a lot of revenge here, as obviously it was the reverse sweep for Lunatic-hai when they met last time, and we'll see if Kongdoo Panthera can prevent that this time, or at least take the clean sweep, perhaps, with a 3-0.
Well, look, anything can happen, Wolf, but neither of these teams want to be facing off against LW Blue, who looked really dominant in their 3-1 victory that they were able to take out against CONBOX Spirit. That Route 66 was one of the fastest Route 66s I have ever seen in my entire life. That was an entirely demoralized CONBOX Spirit, so no one wants to have to go up against that team. We'll see whether it's going to be Lunatic-hai or Kongdoo Panthera. But our first match, Afreeca Freecs Blue, the undefeated against Meta Athena. And Afreeca Freecs Blue, is it that they haven't been tested yet, Wolf? Was their group too easy? Where are our answers here?
Well, when you talk about the weekend runaway, right, and you talk about Uncia, which looks a lot weaker with the transferring of their high-skill players onto Panthera, really the only team that they dominated that looks strong in the modern Season 3 era, of course, is X6, which then also was able to defeat EnVyUs, one of the big favorites going into the round of 8. They seem very confident. Taimo, of course, talking about success in scrims, but even X6 was able to defeat EnVyUs, so I feel like that was their biggest test so far, but I think this is going to be the second step. And X6 was, of course, able to defeat EnVyUs. EnVyUs defeated Meta Athena, so if you want to go down the chain...
rock, paper, scissors, it makes sense. We should... Why are we even playing this? We already know how it's going to work.
I feel like this is definitely going to be an enhanced Meta Athena. I hope we're going to see them less reliant on Hunzaria, for example, which really, I think, affected their compositions going to their previous sets in the group stage round of 16.
Yeah, the thing that was really cool, though, is that in the series that they won against Rhinos that looked incredibly convincing, they were running this dive. They were actually playing the very standard Zenyatta 2-2-2 dive composition with a D.Va instead of an extra DPS, something like that. I mean, and that was definitely working out for them. Played it mostly on control. But, okay, got some cheerfuls here first.
Big fan of the meta there, and it's Metamong, who is Ditto, of course, so... Oh boy, that's our analyst on the Korean caster desk. Pung Tong, giving him the teddy bear treatment there. He is cute like a teddy bear, but not quite as fuzzy, I would say.
Oh my god. Well, back to my little monologue that I was running on there. Meta Athena showed us that they can play the dive compositions, but were also able to flex back to these Zarya comps as well. So they were running some Zarya Reinhardt. It was actually working out. But we are going to hear from the players first.
판을 그린 대로 8강에서 메타 아테나를 만나고 엔비어스랑 만나서 이기고 결승에서 루나틱하이랑 그렇게 딱 완벽하다 생각해요.
맛집으로 보일 수 있는 그런 입장인데 연습 경기에서 졌다고 해도 실전은 다르다는 것을 보여드리고 싶습니다. 전 시즌 4강 팀인데 우리가 잘하던 것들이 안 먹히기 시작하니까 처음엔 되게 많이 불안했거든요.
이게 속도가 너무 메타테나의 조합 자체가 좀 느리고 카운터를 치기가 어려운 조합이라서 캐리력이 나와줘야 될 것 같습니다.
이제는 어느 정도 대비도 돼 있는 상태고 변화했다는 것을 제가 보여드리겠습니다.
제가 3탱 메타 할 때부터 돌진 조합을 써와서 이해도가 굉장히 높아요. 다른 팀보다 더 프로페셔널해요. 그리고 루시드 선수가 들어오면서 와 됐다. 이제 우리의 시대가 다시 왔다.
언제든 저희 팀은 그 옛날 색깔을 되찾아서 폭발적인 힘을 낼 수 있는 팀이기 때문에 만만하지는 않습니다. 저희가 아무리 못해도 저한테는 제 샷발이 있으니까요.
스타일 플레이님보다 우리 리크레이가 더 잘 쏘거든요. 제가 봤을 때는. 그 맞을 때 제가 겐지 유저로서 아는데 리크레이가 훨씬 더 아팠어요. 그리고 리베로 선수도 그 픽폭이 넓다고 유명한데 저가 훨씬 넓거든요.
그렇게 연습 경기에서도 많이 때려 놓으시고 대회에서도 마저 그렇게 때리시겠다니 정말 속상합니다. 정말 아프리카 블루만큼은 철저히 제가 이겨드리겠습니다.
이제 시즌2가 아닙니다. 정신 차리세요.
Overwatch Apex Season 3, energized by Hot 6, quarterfinal. Today's matchup, Afreeca Freecs Blue, Meta Athena.
Well, Meta Athena are incredibly coordinated when it comes to at least the hands in, so that is looking good for them. However, not as confident in that video that you saw.
Definitely not. If you have R on some of the screens, so that we got exactly what we wanted on to face Meta Athena, then EnVyUs, and then of course go against Lunatic-hai in the finals. They were in the group they wanted. They got everything that they were looking for in terms of group selection. Fortunately for them, they won't be EnVyUs they face if they win
they'd
this
have
match.
to lose in a different group.
Sure.
In order to get that particular match.
Well,
So that's not going to happen.
That's what they wanted, but they got the group they wanted. They wanted Meta Athena first here in quarterfinals, and when you compare them, I mean, there was a lot of confidence coming on the side of Aran talking about his hero pool, whereas on the side of Saya player, all he could really say was he has good aim, and I know we got destroyed in scrims, but I promise it'll be better this time.
Yeah, and that is not exactly fighting words, you know? And Ahan on the other side telling him to wake up. Oh, God. It's a little bit frightening. However, if you're coming off 9 straight map victories, never seen an escort map in Season 3, I'd be confident as well, Wolf.
Absolutely.
Afreeca
Let's take a look
Freecs
at Afreeca Freecs Blue, their player reels.
IDK.
이러다가 리카이가 맥크가 이러고 아란의 성리. 잘해요. 국착 성공해.
자, 그런데 아란
벌써 용감? 모여있으면 용감.
그런데 용감으로
Arhan.
킬러 끊기. 굉장히 잘 들어갔죠.
와,
나오는 집중력이라든지 소수 규모로 남았을 때 그 포커싱 집중력까지 확실히 앞서고 있습니다. 블루.
Mano.
발동됐죠. 막아줄 수 있는 게 아무것도 없어요. 지금 루카이 선수 진짜 중후반에서 흔들리가 엄청나죠.
Recry.
재웠어요. 여기요. 자, 얼마나
Lucid.
타임볼 선수가 저는 오히려 타임볼까요? 혹시 지금도 이게 빛이나고 있고 동영상에서
확실히 빈도인데 지금 아프리카 프릭스
Donghyun. Afreeca Freecs Blue.
Well, they mentioned the fact that Lucid coming onto the roster is certainly something that has rounded out this lineup, and he most certainly is the Sleep Master.
Absolutely, several highlights of him not knocking out just any Genji with the sleep darts, but who are you several times in that highlight reel alone. And obviously, with the addition of this incredible support player, Arhan becomes empowered. Also, the flexibility of Donghyun to play the D.Va in terms of defense when they want to protect Recry, but very flexible in order to have him on the Tracer when Arhan is running the Genji, when they want to go D.Va-less with Recry on the Soldier. So for the triple DPS, he can flex into that Tracer role. That was part of his highlight reel there as well, more than the D.Va, having just almost as accurate play as Arhan there on the Tracer. So a scary composition, and normally with this kind of flexibility, you need more rosters, you need subs, but this is just with their 6-man roster alone. This level of flexibility, terrifying.
Absolutely, and this is Donghyun as well, having his most played not even be that D.Va just yet. I mean, over the last 6 months, it still is the Zarya that he's played more often than not, so having him being able to flex over to that Tracer, very, very important here for Afreeca Freecs Blue, and we've seen already that it's been extraordinarily successful.
Absolutely, that's right. We're going to take a look at their opponents, of course. Meta Athena.
Meta Athena.
시간 있으면 뭐?
Saya Player.
이것이 루시오다. 루시오. 셰프에 이어서. 야 이게. 안 되나? 아까도 보셔.
Chris.
또 지금 크리스한테 잘못 줬습니다. 노스 죽기 전에. 그렇지만 어쨌든 캐리. 그래도 상관이 없어요. 네, 어쨌든. 아 진짜 이거. 이베르 선수 잡기 때문에 이거 인정했습니다. 이거 구석에서 자 모아놓고요. 간다. 우와.
Boom.
이겨. 그렇죠.
역으로. 하지만 들어갔죠. 괜찮아, 돈 많아요. 이베라. 자, 모아놓고 던져주고. 와, 이겼어요.
Libero.
장재.
Changshik.
이거 많이 차면 여기 움직임을 정확하게 총을 쏘고 그러면 맞추고 있어요. 이렇게 대지면서 잡죠 지금.
Nus. Meta Athena.
Just want to point out that Libero had 4 different heroes in his highlight reel, which makes a heck of a lot of sense. And also, I want to point out as well that when we were casting that Saya player, we don't make a play, we sounded exactly like the Korean
That's
casters.
right. I mean, there was a lot of yelling going on in that moment for sure. So Changshik will be starting, as has been the trend since Alpha really failed to impress at the start of Season 3. As Changshik was, I believe, personally, one of the main reasons why Meta Athena was able to make the round of 4 in Season 2. They tried to have the flexibility of running Alpha, who was known as a Winston player in the past, but his Reinhardt seemed weaker. So far, we've been seeing Changshik now the main tank player again, even though Alpha had started earlier in the round of 16 group stage. So winning the more standard 6-man here, but they do have that extra flex of Alpha. Pretty unlikely, though, in this series, I think we'll see him come out.
Yeah, it's the triple tank meta has kind of died a little bit, so they don't necessarily need another one, and Changshik has been playing very, very well. But let's have a look at where we're going for control, and it's going to be Oasis, of course. This is an Apex Season 3 favorite. And look, we'll see who's going to be able to perform better as we head over there. At the moment, it's certainly, as far as the statistics for this season, in favor of Afreeca Freecs Blue.
Absolutely. Well, we'll see if Freecs Blue will be able to run the Pharah here, as it's been absent from their play so far this season specifically. So Recry will likely be on that hero if we do see that come to pass, but they've been skipping it so far in 9 games of Season 3. Not a single Pharah usage, just sticking with the straight-up 2-2-2 dive on this map. So that's one of the big questions going into this one. Will they actually switch it up, or are they going to stick with what works best for them so far?
Yeah, Meta Athena actually haven't lost on Oasis so far yet this season as well, so we'll see whether they can put another win on the board against Freecs Blue. Seems we're a little bit uncoordinated today as far as getting our cheers out, Wolf.
Yeah, definitely not as on point as we have been earlier this season.
Well, they've got some time. The fans have got some time to get themselves sorted again. And I wanted to talk about this, and I'm really glad that Afreeca Blue at least look like they're going to run a Tracerless composition, because we've been seeing so many one-trick Tracer players over and over again. I mean, who is there? There's Effect, Timeboy, Bunny. So many. They're everywhere. I can't even remember all of the names.
Sure.
But Freecs Blue, they like to switch up the Tracer play between 3 players. Donghyun has played a little bit of it. Ahan and Recry both having some pretty good moments on the character as well.
And already they've kind of blind countered the composition of Meta Athena, leaving the Tracer out of the picture but putting Recry on the Soldier to knock the Pharah. They obviously expect from Meta Athena already kind of having the counter to knock that Pharah out of the sky. Libero has played the Pharah here so many times already. Again, you said undefeated this season on the map, so having an answer. But Lucid and IDK, Recry as well, already 3 of them down, so hasn't been working out. Couldn't get a clean shot on the Pharah this time.
Yeah, the pick's certainly coming in, and this pharmacy composition seems to have the number of Afreeca Blue right now, just owning that high ground. You mentioned the Soldier being there. I mean, it was Recry not having his opportunity. He was dead basically straight away. It's like, yes, I've got hit scan. I can shoot from a long way away. Well, you can't if you're dead, buddy.
Yeah, only building up 40% of meter as well, whereas Libero's now up to the 80. Nuss actually about to match him with that as well, so they'll have a res very soon. Obviously, flipping the point will be difficult, and once again, Recry just forced back here, once again by Changshik, unable to find any damage.
Donghyun has found Changshik though, so at least they've gotten rid of some of that front line. However, it's still a 1-for-1, and look at this space control. Libero is untouched. Oh, until now. Takes a lot of damage, does manage to grenade himself back.
Good protection here by Hoon consistently. Now that he's knocked out of the mech, though, this may actually be an opportunity for RN to pop the Dragon Blade here for potentially a flip. They're not even going to need it, it looks like, as Recry, once given that space, as Hoon's knocked out of the mech, is able to clean up several kills. It's been the story of this first control point. I'm going to try to buy some more time here using this Primal Rage, but I think the flip is inevitable.
Yeah, it is going to come through at about 51%, and by about, I mean exactly 51%. Meta Athena, good start for them though. Afreeca Blue, they've got 6 ultimates here to defend this. They managed to get that flip without investing anything.
And it's a bit unfortunate that Changshik decided to use his Primal Rage there, because he bought, what, maybe 4-5% there, then promptly died afterwards. So desynced his spawn there and now doesn't have that ult to re-engage. They will, of course, have the Resurrect and soon the Self-Destruct, but with 6 ults, as you said here, for Freecs Blue, it's going to take a while for Meta Athena to have that push. They may try to bait out some ults with their next one. Oh, no!
Oh, Recry. The Helix Rocket's going to be enough to take down Side Player. Now Nuss has to hide himself. More kills coming in here as Recry just... No matter who dives on top of him, he always seems to be able to get himself out of the way. It is going to be a big res. It only comes out onto a couple, though, here as Nuss gets rid of 2, but look at this. Afreeca Blue taking control. They invest the ultimates that they need to, but only 1 support ult. They still have the sound barrier. Meta Athena try anything else, and we've already ticked over that 51% mark that Meta Athena were able to get to.
Oh, Libero's going to bank all of this on one last push with the Genji and perhaps a Dragon Blade play instead of sticking with the Pharah for the pickoffs, because they couldn't actually link Hoon together with Changshik to protect the Pharah anymore. They weren't able to dive onto Recry consistently enough, so it worked a little bit at the beginning, but once it started to really start failing, they just made the swap.
Well, in goes the pulse bomb. Not going to be able to find any kills as Afreeca Blue just throw down the sound barrier to keep everyone alive. Sideplayer says that it doesn't matter as Lucian is going to fall. Self-destruct comes in, doesn't find any kills, but it does at least buy some space. Sideplayer's gone on a merry walk. Chungshik going to jump his way in. Continue on this point. 10% to go here for Afreeca Blue, though, who are not giving up any space, apart from the fact that IDK did just fall down.
So they're going to want to reset. Obviously, really, the Dragon Blades for both players are about halfway there, Arhan and Libero, and hovering around the 50% mark. That's going to be the key factor going to this. IDK using the sound barrier, kind of a problem, because that was going to be one of the big tools to pair with that Dragon Blade. Might not be able to sync it up anymore, though.
Well, everyone just bouncing around these Winstons in the sky, but Arhan is going to be able to take down Chungshik immediately. Now going to start dashing around, isn't taking any damage right in amongst the enemy team as they're just picking up kill after kill. Another dash through, just Arhan saying that he's the better Genji player. Freecs is just going to shoot everyone that's left over.
The flip. They don't even need them.
They never do. Seems like anytime they want to flip a point, they just walk around. It looks like this is just going to go immediately to Afreeca Blue. No overtime shenanigans for point one.
No, Alice, I want to go back to that last fight where we saw Chungshik. We saw Chungshik dive in there, and immediately the targets came down. Arhan saw him, and the target firing was onto Chungshik. Then as soon as he was about to die, that's when Hoon flew in. So Hoon flew in to try to protect him, but he was too late. Then he lost his mech, and that allowed Recry to say, oh, no more defense matrix, and no more bubble shields coming out from the Winston. I'm just going to kill everybody. Arhan didn't even need to use his Dragon Blade. The Helix rocket accuracy from Recry this entire point was super good. So, I mean, they need to have a little bit more coordination in terms of their dive when they're going onto the DPS, or when Chungshik is trying to go in alone. He needs to have that protection, or at least some more ultimates to use with him. Otherwise, why is he going in at all? Is the big question for me.
Yeah. I loved it as well. It was coordinated with Mano as well, so they had themselves that barrier that came down. So we saw the Genji just taking absolutely no damage right in amongst 4 members of Meta Athena. Okay, now moving on to the Garden. Player still trying to be frustrating. Lucid keeps himself alive, actually, and it's going to be Afreeca Blue grabbing the first couple of kills. The big tanky members not going to be able to find anything else. Libero gets one back, but Arhan's still popping off. So Recry picks up the kill onto Nas. Meta Athena, no one left. That is going to be very solid first cap here for Afreeca Blue.
I mean, in terms of heroes played for Donghyun and Hoon, Donghyun has played just the 2, the D.Va and the Tracer. Hoon's played several, but he's just barely behind his D.Va with the Zarya. It just feels like Donghyun's D.Va play is far superior. His timings of when he's going in, his protection there of Lucid was much better than Hoon. Protecting the DPS is trying to dive on them, so that's how they, again, knocked the mech down, and the Recry cleaned everything up.
Well, Recry pressured off this high ground just a little bit. Does have that tac visor available very early in Afreeca. They don't even need the soldier to have free damage because they're killing everyone regardless. That's going to be the reset attempted by Cyblade. No, it's not. He's actually just going to run his way out. Nahan says, well, I guess if you're nowhere near the point, I will let you go.
The dives we're seeing here from Meta Athena seem sloppy. They come in, and every time Donghyun is there with the defense matrix, Player unable to find much of his pulse bombs all game long, and he's going to look for one here. It's just no one in position for him to grab. Okay, this could be it.
Yeah, throws one down, but doesn't get the stick. And now Arhan's just Dragon Blading his way around this tiny little room. It's going to be Chris falling down first, but otherwise no other kills to come in. Does get his way down and will be able to slice and dice his way through a few more members. Meta Athena, they are fish in a barrel. This is like a meat grinder right now.
Yeah, there you have it. There's the kill on the Saya player. 70% here. Once again, only the Dragon Blade being used for Freecs Blue. And we knew Meta Athena had made switches when they played after their match against EnVyUs. They played less of the Zarya play. They moved more into that more standard dive that is so meta right now. When you compare these two teams, though, as Arhan said in the interview, they've been playing this for much longer. They're more professional, he said. Yeah. They have more experience with it, and it really shows here.
It looked like they were actually doing pretty well with it against Rhinos, but it's a very different team. A team that's actually disbanded now. Very unfortunately. Sound barriers come in, though, for Afreeca Freecs. They're going to invest everything to try and protect their 98% that they have built up at Hoon. Does get a self-destruct kill onto Recry just after he managed to pick one up. Hoon now as well. Moving forward with another one. Grabs his mech back and will continue this.
Arhan's going to commit to the Dragon Blade, however. Already knocking Hoon out of the mech there. Looking for more. Catches Chris.
Chris, right up in the sky, cannot escape the man with a big sword. Recry's going to make his way back through. He's going to be able to clean up some more kills. Oh, nice work here from Libero. Gets the dash kill through onto Ahan, but seems like Afreeca Freecs continuing. That is going to be that, a very swift 2-0 on control. Meta Athena get their first loss on Oasis so far this season, and Afreeca Blue continue to be undefeated. That is 10 maps in a row.
But they take Oasis without using Pharah at all, just dealing with the Pharah on the first point. Second point, obviously, not really a big factor there. Libero on the Genji, again, feels weak when you compare him to Arhan. When you compare Donghyun, of course, to the D.Va play coming out from Hoon, it just feels a little bit sloppier on Meta Athena's side. When you saw these teams clash before, when you saw differences in styles, or Meta Athena would actually run something different and come ahead against the dive, it felt like, okay, they're breaking the meta again, they're trying something different, they found a way to deal with this. But now, this meta is so necessary, and Meta Athena has to play dive. When they play against a professional dive team that's been playing it since it was completely made the main meta, they just can't compare, and it makes me wonder if maybe they should switch back as we move into hybrid here. Maybe take King's Row, play that Zarya play, go back to what you're more comfortable with, because here, when it's dive versus dive, Meta Athena doesn't stand a chance from what we've seen so far.
They have looked okay. If we move over to something like King's Row, like you mentioned, it's their choice, so they can head there if they like. A few options to have these more stagnated compositions, though, and it is going to be King's Row. So here we are. This is the Hoon playground. Wants to get on that Zarya, try to get this one back on track for Meta Athena. But with a start like that, the momentum built even from just one map, if it's that dominating, Afreeca Freecs lineup will not give up without a fight, even if it is such comfort for Meta Athena.
And no doubt, this is exactly what Afreeca Freecs Blue would expect from Meta Athena. They expect to take the first map. They expect they're going to see King's Row. Either that, or perhaps they just pick King's Row if they lose the first control point, because they know exactly how Meta Athena plays here. So they've got to have something prepared to deal with the Zarya. And if it's not, then maybe they just beat him in the dive.
Well, let's see what it is as we hop over to King's Row.
I get it.
All right, pretty one-sided as we head into King's Row. Meta Athena going to be starting on the attack. We'll see where the side play actually decides to stick on that Widowmaker. We've seen a couple of pot shots coming out from that top room in the church.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it is generally a switchback.
Well,
we've seen a couple of people stick to it.
Yeah, the Symmetra here, definitely an interesting one. If we end up seeing the shield generator, that would be cool, but it's going to be not only not the Symmetra, but also not the Torbjorn, which we've also seen Torbjorn Orisa on hybrid maps quite a bit from Afreeca Freecs Blue, specifically Hollywood is the one they are most known for doing it, but just going to stick to the more standard defense here with the double support and the 2-2-2 with Recry once again on the Soldier, Arhan on the Genji. So Tracerless so far, and when Donghyun's been playing way better than Hoon has in terms of D.Va versus D.Va, I think if it's not broken, don't fix it.
Yeah. Well, we're about to break out into this one. I'm surprised not to see something like the triple support that has been very successful on defense. Triple tank as well has seen some success. Even seen, you know, the Roadhog and the Roadhog Reinhardt and Zarya work out, even without a D.Va, still triple tank. Does get a fair bit of work done just because it's so incredibly beefy. But just going to go very standard on the side of Afreeca Blue, and we'll see whether the defense is going to stand up.
Looking for the pick here.
Yeah, on the backside.
Already protected, though, by Lucid, who's been such a god this entire series long. Just immediately heals him, immediately reacts. Gonna look for the pick on to Lucid himself now. Will he get it? He does. Finally finds something here with the Tracer. Gonna get Recry as well with no more support. Donghyun tries to come in to save him. It's gonna cost him his mech, though.
They're gonna own this high ground, and it's all Meta Athena here in the early game. Mono's gonna get taken down. They only sacrifice a mech. This is going to be a very, very fast first cap for Meta Athena.
Incredible time bank they'll have. Finally, the dive for Meta Athena shows signs of life with the pick there onto Lucid. He was looking elsewhere, didn't have the ability to even drop down that sleep dart. So got him, then got Recry. And once again, we saw Donghyun come in late for the defense matrix, so he was picked. And once the defense matrix gone, plus one of your DPSs, you know it's lights out for sure. So well executed here by Meta Athena. And it gives me hope that perhaps they can make this dive work going to the rest of the series because they struggled on Oasis.
Yeah, might be able to bring this to a 1-1 as well, Wolf. Excited to see whether Meta Athena can turn this into a series. Afreeca Blue pretty used to getting 3-0s. And they're going to continue trying to do this. Libero's going to deny it from Recry though as IDK falls down as well. Sound barrier used by Meta Athena. They really want to hold on to this push. As Donghyun pushed all the way back.
A very haphazard dive coming in from the Freecs there, and just really good reaction by Meta Athena spreading against it, targeting down really well. And we saw the pulse bomb eaten there by Donghyun, but it just didn't matter. The damage alone coming out from the tracking of Saya player was good enough.
Would you say it was beautiful?
I would, in that case, yeah, absolutely.
Thanks, man.
So
It's good to know. I'm just looking for looking for when that's appropriate to say. So it's important for me to know that. All right, dash through from Libero is going to take this as the opportunity. Nope. Denied. Dragon Blade not going to be of much use at all as he falls down. Donghyun's going to be able to pick that one up with a self-destruct of all things. Nahan wants his opportunity now to go nuts with his sword. It's only going to be Chris that falls to it though.
Now, the self-destruct getting the pick earlier on the Libero was pretty well done. Also knocking the mech out of the fight. And Orange is going to clean it up, man. Left clicks for the kill on the Saya player, already using the recall. So finally this push is stopped in its tracks. It was a really solid push. Momentum has finally shifted now over to the Freecs.
Yeah, and look at Ahan. He's so incredibly vocal on that desk, wanting to hype his players up, get themselves back into the swing of things here, because that Streets phase, and especially the defense on the first point, was not going in favor of Afreeca at all. All momentum with Meta Athena.
Ult economy advantage for the Freecs as well with that last fight. The self-destruct really giving him that advantage early on, plus the wasted Dragon Blade from Libero. So going to be a little bit of eco-poking, if you will, not even directly pushing for Meta Athena right now. Saya player once again in the backline looking for the picks.
Ahan's going to dash his way up. It is going to be taken down. Saya player knows exactly what to do. Gets the stick onto Lucid as well. IDK is being frustrating. He's going to be able to get a boot back onto Saya player, but I have a feeling that he's not long for this world. Okay, he's going to survive for the moment. Libero's going to fall down in the meantime. Mono gets rid of the mech. Yeah, exactly. This monkey's gone ballistic. Masoon should get pushed out. Baby Diva just going to be held onto and taken down when they want. Wow.
Eventually there.
Yeah, that was a really nice stagger, though, coming out of the Freecs.
Feels like Saya players had his most success when Nuss is able to discord his targets, but when he's left alone there, even having trouble killing IDK meant he was gone from the fight for a really long time. No protection there, no extra peeling to deal with mana, which is part of why he got that 2K. So big props to IDK in that 1v1, lasting it out there, nearly getting the kill even onto Saya player. So more time burned through here for Meta Athena, who again have an ult disadvantage.
Oh yeah, there's the Transcendence that's going to be used here. Meta Athena, they have a sound barrier of their own, so they are going to be able to answer this ultimate. Now the fight is on for real. Ahan still getting the dash kill, still picking up what he can. The boop is going to kill Libero as well, as Afreeca Blue start off with a 4-man advantage and are going to be able to clean up the rest here at the same time. Another Baby Diva is just going to be toyed with and destroyed.
They have a lot of tools now, though, Meta Athena do, to try to force this into the checkpoint. The big, scary defensive tool is going to be that self-destruct, which shut them down last time, so they could try to bait that out and then commit to the ults to go in with the Transcendence and the Dragon Blade. That could be how they secure this, but this cart is rolling back, so I feel like it needs to be now or maybe never, Atlas.
Yeah, there is a stop sign in the middle of the Streets phase apparently this week, Wolf.
Yeah.
That is exactly what's happened. We've seen a lot of these be very, very quick through King's Row. However, Afreeca Blue decided to let us know that no, this is exactly where it goes. Falls back. That was not exactly the pulse bomb that Saya player was looking for.
Here's the Dragon Blade.
Dragon Blade is going to come down. Libero already 2 kills. Both supports dead. A self-destruct is going to take down Changship, but is it going to be Libero that's able to clean up some more, because there's not a lot of sustain on the side of Afreeca.
Okay, Libero takes out Arhan. Looks like this is going to be the push they were looking for. The self-destruct saved them last time against this, but it won't be enough this time to stop this sustained damage coming out, as they will shove this around the corner. Very close to the checkpoint. We'll see if Afreeca Freecs want to dive in for one last contest. They have the Dragon Blade, but I just don't think it's going to be worth it. IDK tries to slow it down. They may commit.
It's going to be able to actually stop it, but it's only 1.5 meters. Transcendence does come in from Lucid, As Ahan, he's got the Dragon Blade trying to cut them all up, but Libero's picked up a kill. Sire player there as well, and once again, we're missing a lot of that support and utility on the side of the Freecs. And Ahan has to get his way out. That is going to be the second point achieved. Streets phase over. Welcome to the Foundry.
Very much a sloppy engage, very desperate engage from the Freecs as they really wanted to force that in the Transcendence with the Dragon Blade, but it was just too little too late as they kind of threw members at the point, and now they're not going to have those crucial ults and one of the hardest points to push here on King's Row into the final edge of the Foundry, so feels like it was a bit wasteful there when that checkpoint was almost surely guaranteed.
Well, Lucid's going to get picked up once again by a Pulse Bomb. Recry, he's got his as he switched over to the Tracer himself, and Libero sitting on a Dragon Blade, wants to use it at the opportune moment as they're getting this push through. We've got Sound Barrier coming down, but Freecs lose so much health on Donghyun. He's immediately destroyed. Hoon grabs a big set of kills with that self-destruct. And Freecs Blue are now in disarray as this cart is heading straight towards the finish.
Mono's going to have to be the hero here, but he doesn't have his Primal Rage yet. There's a few tools coming up. Donghyun as well. Going to have self-destruct very soon. They have a few different tools to buy time here. Here comes the self-destruct. Donghyun goes down. He picks up the kill on the Changshik. Mono again, very close to that Primal Rage. He's in the air. It's like he's going to drop it in just a second. There it is.
Oh my goodness, though. Look at this. Freecs Blue turning it all around. Just took that one self-destruct to remove the front line from Meta Athena. Mono is just going to beat Nuss to death. That looked brutal. Probably shouldn't have been observing that.
That was a close call, though. They had those ults just on the cost. 10 seconds less on the Primal Rage or the self-destruct, and maybe this isn't a hold, but they just barely had enough despite that desperate attempt to hold. Still a solid push for Meta Athena. They do have the Primal Rage to go for one last Hail Mary here to try to get completion.
Well, Transcendence and Dragon Blade both there. Nuss, he's got his Transcendence, and the Sound Barrier is going to come through immediately. Ahan trying to find some kills, has managed to find Chris, but that is about it. Has to put his sword away, but now Meta Athena set up the overtime and they want to try and push them out, but Defender's advantage so far in Freecs' favor, and they're picking up the kills alongside it as well. Lucid finally gets some revenge as he takes down Sire Player and Libero, and this should be the hold from Freecs Blue, but so close for Meta Athena.
Very, very close, and obviously, it's kind of a wave on this map. You know, you talked about how it feels like it keeps being this weird halting of the pushes around halfway through this,
isn't it?
Yeah, it's because of the distance from respawn to pushing the cart, right? And when you get closer and closer to the end of the Foundry for completion, when you do have that Defender's Advantage, the Defender's Advantage comes from the faster respawns and the quicker run back. So every pick is worth like 2 or 3 picks when you're the defender there. So they had those ults there, they had the last exchange, and then they had just kind of snowball-y defenses there. The double Transcendence came down, but obviously Arhan was able to break through with the Dragon Blade, and that was what was key. The Transcendence for Meta Athena without the Dragon Blade from the Freecs might have been enough to push it through, but was not enough because Dragon Blade cuts through that, killed Chris right away, and that was the beginning of the end for Meta Athena. And now we'll see if they want to run that Zarya that we've seen them run so many times on this map.
And be so successful regardless of which meta it is. I mean, Hoon is still very, very good on that hero. But is he going to be sticking to the D.Va for the moment? He may have made the full transition, Wolf.
It may be time to just say goodbye to the Zarya, at least until another meta arises. It may be Hoon himself who brings it back, but absent today from these matches, and you know, we thought maybe they'd be picking King's Row for this reason, but it seems like they just want to fight fire with fire and accept that the Zarya time has passed.
Well, Ahan and Recry, I mean, they're the DPS brothers of Freecs Blue. Makes sense that they're playing actual brothers in the game right now.
I imagine Recry will make the switch to the Soldier, and they're going to run again a Tracerless composition. The Freecs really favoring the D.Va over the Tracer, not running the triple DPS with Donghyun so far.
Not even opting into any sort of Sonic Arrow shenanigans as well, not wanting to check anything out. They probably know exactly what Meta Athena are going to be doing. Are going to jump their way forward right now, so we'll see whether Freecs Blue can cap this as quickly as Meta Athena were able to without having Sire Player with those picks that he was able to get very early on.
That's a coordinated defense matrix if I've ever seen one. Look at that, coming in together with Mono, gets him into the exact perfect position. However, they don't actually find any kills, and this push is going to be halted here by Meta Athena. Still well done by Freecs Blue with the start of that push, but they couldn't get the target selection to find any picks, so going to be the reset here, and already a better attack for Meta Athena.
Yeah, I would say so. Hoon does have his mech back available again. He's going to hop into that one, and they're going to continue to try and build up these ultimates as they move forward. Okay, Recry is going to get destroyed by Sire Player.
Well, that's already a lot of time bought here for Meta Athena.
Probably wanted to use that biotic field. Maybe.
Okay, we're going to see this fight here. Arhan does not want to fight against the Discord. He actually may go down. Yep, there you go. Side player with the chase. The Discord pairing again. And
he's a man on a mission.
Yeah, they're just feeding heroes in at this point.
You can't be getting picks like that. I mean, that must feel good, though, Wolf. After the player video that we did see earlier on, Side player was not the cocky one. That was certainly Arhan.
Look, he said he was going to have good aim no matter what, and that's what's securing some of these picks when the dives come in.
Well, when it's a game about shooting people, generally having good aim's a good idea, as that's not going to be a stick with the pulse bomb. Some decent harass coming out from Sire player as Arhan is going to lose his life. Both Genjis getting some work done as Meta Athena do have that sound barrier keeping them alive. Recry with his tac visors trying to find some kills, but Transcendence keeps Meta Athena alive. Despite that, yeah, Afreeca Blue are still being able to pick up some kills. Should be able to hop onto this point and finally get this cart moving, but that is so much better time. I believe that's about 2 minutes more in the time bank from Meta Athena when they were able to attack through.
And they also have to, of course, go through all these meters. They do have the cap. Side players can look for one last-ditch pick. Unfortunately, the defense is too good. They're going to dive for this, though, completely. Changxia comes in immediately discorded. He has the Primal Rage.
Well, Mano's looking for Sire player. This could actually be dangerous depending on what they want to do. A Sire player throws out a Pulse Bomb, but doesn't actually pick up any joy for it. I believe that was because Lucid did use that Transcendence, kept himself alive. Arhan now dashing through, very close to that Dragon Blade, but probably wants it for this. Donghyun's going to pick up a kill as well as Mono. And Afreeca Blue are once again reigning supreme on the defense or on the attack. Very confusing because they were kind of defending the point that they were already attacking and managed to secure.
Sure. And, you know, that Pulse Bomb being eaten by Donghyun was super important to save Lucid. The protection of Lucid throughout this series has been really good by Donghyun. Whether he's protecting Recry or protecting Lucid, Afreeca Freecs Blue seems to, with Arhan shout calling, able to identify exactly where Meta Athena is going to dive and put down the protection. So good communication, good coordination here as yet another Discord goes on to Arhan. But still, really impressive defense from Meta Athena. They bought a lot of time with that last push.
Oh, Arhan. A lot of trouble. Does have to get back to his front line. Dragon Blade comes in. He's looking for the dive. Wants to kill Nuss and does manage to get it.
He's had enough of those Discord orbs. Gets his revenge.
Exactly right. As he's now looking for the back line, but you can see Meta Athena are falling apart. Afreeca Blue on this push through. And once again, not using their ultimates when they don't have to. They're just picking up all of these kills. They've still got a sound barrier there. Recry's got a tac visor available. We're very close to a Primal Rage. Afreeca Blue, that was just basically a Dragon Rage.
Yeah, part of the, well said, part of the problem there obviously was the late spawn coming in for Nuss, which was punished there by Arhan, so he came over, he was so passively positioned back there, so he got punished, and then also Lucio wasn't completely in the fight there, so they got those picks. Recry again with another tac visor, this time protected by the sound barrier, but a good Transcendence to match it.
Yeah, Meta Athena throw down both of their support ults. No, actually, they hold on to the sound barrier until now. Are going to utilize it. Hoon trying to get some work done here on this carpet. Mano, he's taken out Nuss. It just seems like these Zenyatas are such a target for both of these teams as Hoon knocked out of the mech. Well, he's actually just going to use the self-destruct, but he's not actually going to find any joy for it. Afreeca Blue still winning the battle thus far as Arhan holding on to his Dragon Blade because he knows he doesn't need it. The rest of his team taking control, and it's ult economy that Afreeca Blue have just been so good at this entire season. And it's staying true here on this push as they get to the second point.
We've been watching a lot of the Arhan clips here, but I feel like Mono really deserves a lot of credit. He's picking up 2Ks so many times on his own. It's never mano a mano with that guy, man. He's taken at least 2. Okay, and I wish we could see some flashbacks of it, but here we're going to see another dive attempt by Meta Athena as they come in. Recry it with almost yet another tac visor available. He does get picked, however. Libero committing the Dragon Blade.
Yeah, Boop onto Libero is going to kill him, however, as IDK takes him out. And Afreeca Freecs Blue continue this cart moving forward. Sire player is very low on health. He's just going to be destroyed. Very difficult to dodge the old Tesla gun.
I just keep watching Donghyun protect everybody, then be down to 10% health and walk away, get a health pack, or just heal. as he is the MVP, man. Just protecting everybody against this heavy dive. Saya player not able to find anything unless he finds individuals. In these straight-up 6v6 fights, just can't find the damage. Sound barrier here, they look for the completion.
Yeah, they're trying to push it forward. Nas is going to go down. Saya player in a heck of a lot of trouble as well.
No one's
There's
on the
the
point.
self-destruct. No one's going to get onto this point. They're pushing it through, and that's going to be that. Afreeca Freecs Blue, I mean, despite the fact that Meta Athena did push that cart a heck of a long way the first round, Afreeca Blue just a little bit better at it.
Yeah, I feel like we really had a lot of issues for Afreeca Freecs starting things off with their initial dive. But once they got on the payload and once they stopped getting picked individually by Saya player, the regrouping of the Freecs to have them all 6 men on the cart, essentially, where Dongyo could protect, that's when they really shined there. Are looking for sometimes even just the 1K on the Dragon Blade, isolating these supports or the desynced members that got split spawn, coming in to find them and punish them, and then coming back together for those team fights. A team fighting much better there at the end, and again, I feel like we talk about how great of a Genji Aran is, but that's always been a thing. That's always been his consistent label as one of the best Genjis in Korea. But Donghyun has stepped it up on the D.Va, and that protection is really mitigating a lot of what Saya player can accomplish.
Yeah, and Saya player, he did manage to get a couple of those picks, but you're right. What that does is isolates exactly how good he is at peeling if he's going to be doing that role. And what it meant is we saw Ahan solo diving the backline just to kill Chris or something like that, just to get one pick, and then that's enough to cause disarray in Meta Athena. So incredible performance here from Afreeca Freecs Blue, and we're already at 2-0 in this series. We will have a short break, ladies and gentlemen. When we get back, we'll see whether Afreeca Freecs are going to go undefeated still here in the round of 8.
언제 어디서나 깔끔하고 상쾌하게.
이런 게 트래비 스타일.
Stylish sparkling water, 트래비.
노력은 선수를 만들고 코어 i7 프로세서는 멈추지 않는 파워를 드립니다.
Athena relatively handedly so far.
I felt like the King's Row map was a lot closer. It wasn't a close map by any means, but it was a lot closer than the control map, and we saw some cracks, some chinks in the armor of Afreeca Freecs Blue in terms of diving on a defensive point, which could end up being an issue actually going into 2-point capture. If they struggle as they did in the last map, they might find themselves with a weaker time pool than Meta Athena, but only time will tell, of course. I feel like the strength of King's Row for Afreeca Freecs Blue is when they were all 6 on the cart and they just had the better team fights there with Donghyun. Really good protection of the DPSs and the healers, so they're not going to have that 6-man grouping on a payload when we go into Assault, so...
And it was Donghyun as well that actually won them that map at the very end, because the self-destruct timing was absolutely stunning, meant that that cart was just free roaming towards victory, and people were probably spamming C9 in the chat, but that is exactly not what happened, because it was just good D.Va play.
Would have been a lot of Bible thumps if they tried to get on the point there at the end, because that would have been some dead heroes. So let's see where we're going. I want to avoid Volskaya if you're Meta Athena.
No, you don't. It's my favorite.
See what they want to take us to. It's one of their weaker maps, and we are going to go to Hanamura, so get ready for some Torbjorn.
Oh, yes.
And some Orisa, you have to imagine, coming out from Afreeca Blue, as Arhan has been loving it so far. Used especially on Hollywood, but on Hanamura, it got broken pretty hard by the dive. And Meta Athena, not the best dive team, but we'll have to see. It's one of the unknowns going into this map as to whether they're just going to run defensive dive as we saw in King's Row, or if they want to commit to that heavy turret.
Yeah, also there's question marks on whether Afreeca Blue even decide to do that, just because their standard 2-2-2 compositions have been so strong, and Meta Athena have not had answers just straight up in battling like single points at all. So we'll see what's going to happen as we head to Hanamura for map 3.
I get it.
Once again, pretty one-sided. As we have a look at beautiful Hanamura.
Very beautiful. We're out of the cherry blossom season here, though.
Yeah.
We're moving into the hot, hot summer.
It's sweltering.
It's getting a bit
But it's not
hot.
even, this is the thing that really frustrates me, right? Is that everyone's saying, well, it gets hotter than this. And I'm like, why? Tell me that. That does not help. It's already hot. Stop saying it's going to get hotter.
No, I've been guilty of being one of the people who's told you that,
Yes,
and I
you
feel
have,
bad.
many times.
But I will tell you one more time, it's going to get hotter at this.
God damn it. I mean, I don't want to take out my dirty laundry here, like, on cast or anything, Wolf, but I mean, you gotta get better at this.
All right.
You're not making me feel good.
Well, we almost got a whole deck of cards here with this with this spray synergy coming out for the Freecs. And remember,
what are you doing, dude?
Remember, this is going to be the 2-2-2 as you predicted, as was likely to be the case against Meta Athena with how well they played it so far. Not going to commit all in into the Torbjorn defense.
This was the 2-2-2 that was unsuccessful, though, against Meta Athena in the first point in King's Row. So, utilizing the Ana, we'll see whether Lucid's going to be able to keep some better positioning against Sire Player, who was very, very good at getting in from behind, taking him out before he could get slept.
That fan sign said she wanted to eat dinner with them afterwards. She brought the spam. Not going to be seeing any Orisa spam in this game, though. It's just going to be the dive here as Meta Athena approaches the second floor here. It's the duel between Saya Player and Arhan.
That is not the target that he was looking for, so Saya Player still searching for the Ana.
Okay, they're just going to allow the Meta Athena players to come in here. Recry is dove upon here, but immediately the boop comes on to move Changshik away.
So close to actually getting him off the edge there. Discord Orb, they want to get rid of the monkey, and they do so successfully. It's beautiful so far.
It says Recry immediately Biotic Fields, and then immediately the Biotic Grenade comes down to answer, which blocks Shangshik's healing, and then the Donghyun Defense Matrix comes in. It's just a world of hurt here. Arhan's going to get the pick on the Nuz, as they are 1-for-1 currently, but I think that may change as Arhan now kills Hoon's mech. And Saya Player looks real frustrated right now. They're just not able to find these picks because the protection from Lucid, from Donghyun, I mean, it was a perfect setup. Multiple heroes diving onto Recry, and yet still Donghyun, Lucid, they are in close proximity because they were all sticking together on the point, very easily able to react, give the healing, give the defense matrix. The Biotic Grenade comes in to block the healing of Changshik, punishes him for coming in. IDK as well with the boop to buy some time for Recry to use his own Biotic Field. The defensive setups here are beautiful from the Freecs.
Yeah, well, Ultimate's coming in here as the Nano Blade is down for Arhan. He's even got the sound barrier. It's only one more tick that Meta Athena need to take this first point, so they're investing a lot, but it doesn't seem to matter. Nuss picks up a double kill on the Zenyatta. And that Dragon Blade just flat out didn't get the work done that Afreeca Freecs were looking for. They're probably going to have to go for some sort of reset here, as this final tick is going to be easy now. And Meta Athena, that was some solid dive.
That was really well done. The targeting was much better this time, and obviously the Dragon Blade and the Sound Barrier were used very early on in the fight. And with Arhan unable to find any picks with the Transcendence coming down, those are the two big ultimates used. Recry got picked right afterwards, didn't have the ability to use his Tac Visor, and the rest is history, obviously. IDK just trying to buy time there on the ceiling, but a decent time big. 5:30 left currently for Meta Athena. Can't really snowball this, not a whole lot of ults to go for the double.
Yeah, well, they are going to be able to set themselves up pretty easily on the high ground here as Donghyun, his mech is going to get taken down extraordinarily low, just throws out the self-destruct and grabs a triple kill for it. Thank you very much. Recry is going to be able to take down Hoon's mech, and Afreeca Blue are going to utilize this man advantage to wipe the floor with Meta Athena. Give it another shot, guys.
It was so funny because I was about to say this is the one time Donghyun gets caught with his back turned when Saya Player gets the pulse bomb because he's been eating them so consistently all night.
On purpose.
And then he's just like, oh, well, I guess I just press Q and you all die. So watch this again. Saya Player, look at him on the left side, gets the pulse bomb down, the self-destruct comes in, and
he was just standing in the middle of the point.
Yep.
That is flat out just Meta Athena not paying attention to the gigantic exclamation mark, right?
It might have been also the call-outs that Donghyun was down, not actually while his mech was in its explosion animation, and then they just didn't realize he had the self-destruct, but either way, kind of sloppy there. Nice defense, though, again for Donghyun.
Well, Meta Athena are going to throw down the sound barrier. They're looking to try and actually make this one an attempt. They overlap it with the Transcendence as well, and they do manage to grab their kills. Lucid falls down. Chris is going to get punished, though, as Recry. He's still alive. Not too much joy to be gathered here by the Dragon Blade, actually, as Saya Player continues to try and get aggressive. Pulse Bomb zoning that monkey back into the spawn location. Lucid gets back here. Libero continues to go nuts. Good sleep onto Saya Player. That is what we wanted out of Lucid. His sleeps are normally pretty good. He's going to get back home. We've got the first tick coming down here on Hanamura. That is a big deal for Afreeca Freecs. They still do have 3.5 minutes to work with.
Another self-destruct kill onto Arhan. Recry gets a pick onto Saya, though. Remember, defender's advantage here. Not making any swaps at all because they had these ultimates, so not going on to the Desperation May or anything like that. And take a nap. Oh, boy.
Yep, so Hoon going to get sleepy for a little while and staggered forever.
Booped, so she couldn't suicide there for even longer, then finally taken out by IDK. Ult advantage here with that last commitment by Meta Athena as well. So they got a tick, and that was nice, and they committed actually, instead of trying to get the second tick, to kind of camping the spawn location there, but too many ultimates on the side of the Freecs. And they are able to break out. So 3 minutes left on the clock, still very doable for Meta Athena as they look for an eco push. The Saya player switches to the Soldier.
Okay, Ahan gets himself healed back up, but does need to be careful. These Discord orbs seem to have a magnet for Genji's, which does make sense. He's got a big metal suit, that'll do.
Sure. Also very low on health and a good target. I like your metal suit idea though. Very, much more magnetic.
Oh, good reflect.
There it is
Keeps
again.
him alive for the moment. A side player. He has to get out of there. He's switched over to the Soldier, just trying to make use of this high ground that they do have access to. Fair bit of damage going down as Transcendence once again invested here on the side of Meta Athena. Afreeca holding on to so many ultimates.
No health pack.
We've got a self-destruct available as Donghyun does throw that one out. Gets the kill into Libero actually. Helix rockets come in as he reflects Saya players back into his own face. And Meta Athena just get obliterated.
Well, the key here for Meta Athena is I want to make this high ground push work with the Soldier, but Aran found him and killed him there. He almost got away with the
Did he
health
kill
pack.
him, or did Saya player kill himself?
Sure, he killed himself.
Ahan?
He killed himself technically. You know, he was like, I won't let you have this. I want to do this myself.
Yeah, exactly.
But
He'll fall on his own terms, man. I understand that.
exactly, he wants to go out his own way. But he dies, and that means one of the crux of the push dies because Libero died to the self-destruct, so DPS removed, and they have to reset. But they got a lot of ult charge out of this.
Well, speaking of ults, Nanoblade is going to fly through as Ahan's already been able to pick up Nas. It's generally his only target, but he gets a mech for it as well as Hoon is going to get taken out. Nice little Goomba Stomp kill into Chris there as well as IDK just boops Chungshik off the edge.
Decides not to chase Saya player, which I thought was really funny. Just saw Saya player running for his light. Just, nah, I'll let you go, man.
Yep,
I got you last time. I respect your suicide earlier, so I'll let you get off the hook this one. You can build up to your next tac visor.
Was that suicide or was it like more like euthanasia, you know?
Yeah, sure.
Because like I feel like it was such a messy fight and a fight that Meta Athena had no chance in winning that he was just like, come on, man. I mean, this is just nicer just to get rid of me now. I'll come back and get things done better. But I think we've taken this to a dark place. Meta Athena now ready for another dive. We've only got 40 seconds on the clock as Afreeca Blue do have some ultimates to work with, but finally Meta Athena with the ult advantage moving forward. Nas is going to get taken extraordinarily low as Donghyun finishes him off with his little diva pistol.
Yep. The mechless diva, man, forced to be reckoned with in this situation. Good understanding of the health packs as well from Donghyun. Impressive all night long, but Mono and IDK are already down, and now he's dead too.
Yeah, Meta Athena, they've only got 15 seconds to go, but they're going to tick this one up. Oh, Recry gets himself onto the point, but he's going to get taken down very, very quickly. That's going to be that. Hanamura completed by Meta Athena.
11 seconds on the time bank. We were talking about how cool it was that Donghyun was able to find his way out of that rough situation, get the health pack, and then look for the kill onto the Zenyatta. However, the cost of this is no defense matrix during the main fight, which was happening off screen. And we don't know exactly what happened there, but certainly Donghyun being caught was part of the problem as he wasn't there for the defense matrix he needed to be. So good understanding by Meta Athena knowing that he was out of the mech and they had an opportunity to commit there. They only had a few seconds left on the clock, so it needed to be then, but well done.
Yeah, and the Nanoblade actually came in a little bit too soon on the side of Afreeca Blue as well, just because they then didn't have any tools to answer Meta Athena's final push that was obviously going to come in when we were down to about that 15 seconds later. There's almost no point. I mean, Afreeca Blue have been so good at defending, even without these ultimates necessarily, but Blue said that'd be adorable if he was going to play the attack Torbjorn.
It would have been cute.
But it's not going to happen. I got to stop talking about hovers if attacking teams, but Nas looks like he actually will be on this Sombra.
Well, that's definitely not very unusual, right? It's quite common to see the Sombra play, especially out of Nas. We've seen it before, but the All right. The sneak tactic. Nobody knows.
I don't know why, but that got me. That completely got me.
Well, I was wondering if we were going to see the swap out of Recry. On this map specifically, you can't get a whole lot of value out of the attack soldier unless your opponents just let you in to the point. Obviously, if you're up against a Reinhardt or an aggressive D.Va, it's going to be hard to find value, but it looks like they just want to stick to their guns. Donghyun actually on the Tracer, so they're going to be doing a slower push, it looks like here, unless they're going to swap and trick me.
We'll see whether they actually stick with this, as Mano does switch back to the Winston, so it is going to be triple DPS. Once again, the Sombra going down very low early on. Donghyun getting frustrating. We'll see how much they're going to be missing his D.Va, because it is so incredibly strong, has been so imperative in this meta as well. Look at how far forward Meta Athena are.
Well, this is a double-edged sword for Meta Athena. They looked for the trap, but now they get caught losing several members. Donghyun, very low though, is taken out here. Looks like that will be enough for the hold here for Meta Athena. Had things gotten a little bit worse in terms of picks, though, it could have been an early cap for Afreeca Blue.
They can't get anywhere near the point. Afreeca Blue is stuck behind that first choke at the doorway.
A lot of harass coming up from Nus too. We'll have an EMP soon. Gonna look for a little bit more of that damage right now. See if we'll commit to a hack here on the D.Va. Nope, just translocates. He's nearly at that EMP. It's ready now. We'll see if he just commits in. Yes, he does.
Throws it down immediately. He's going to be able to translocate his way back up to the high ground there as well as Libero. He's going to be able to jump through. Not a lot available after that EMP happened, and he gets himself a triple. Look at how stunned he is. He's like, yes, I'm against Ahan, and I look like the better Genji in this play.
Yeah, absolutely in this case, and the Sombra is giving a lot of issues to Afreeca Freecs. Part of the reason why they had that EMP was because they had such a solid defense against the first push. And now that things have reset, they're not against it. We'll see Recry pop this very early, actually, kind of blind even. Just straight up into the faces of Meta Athena, the tac visor. Barely successful here as Nuss is gone now.
Yeah, and look at Ahan. He just follows up with damage of his own, takes down Chungsik. And that's going to be Sire player falling. It looks like this should be at least a couple of caps coming in, if not the full one. Meta Athena are just going to fall back to point B.
See if Donghyun's going to do a little bit of cheeky harassment as he darts forward to go for the left approach to also get some spotting done for Afreeca Blue. Nuss going to stick with the Sombra, arguably even stronger on this point. Arhan's trying to find him. There he is. So just continue to harass.
Well, Recry is going to be able to take down Side Player. This actually could be a good
Ooh,
opportunity.
this is a problem.
Yeah, dashes through onto Nuss. Nicely done. Dragon Blade is going to come out now. He wants to get this mech as quickly as possible, and he's slicing it up thus far. Gets a lot of damage onto it, and Hoon does lose the mech. That is so important. Side Player falling down very low as he has just respawned. And now Recry throwing in even more damage. Doesn't even have the tac visor. Ladies and gentlemen, that is just beautiful tracking.
He's hacked and doesn't care. His right clicks were super on point there. We're going to see one last attempt here by Nuss to come in. There's the EMP, but even without abilities here, it looks like the Freecs may be able to force this one. But now the EMP is worn off. Self-destruct comes up. Good retreat here from Recry.
Yeah, gets himself towards that high ground. He's got the tac visor, wants to be able to use it when there's no defense matrix, but just throws it down immediately. There's the mech destroyed. He's ripping them up, and can they actually do this? They've still got 5 minutes remaining, and that's it. Afreeca Blue, against all odds. I mean, capping Hanamura at point B is difficult, Wolf.
It's not easy, and now they've got 5:42 for tiebreaker rounds here compared to the 1 minute of donated 49 seconds that Meta Athena will have after their 11-minute time bank. So the coordination there was much better, and obviously the targeting on the D.Va to knock Hoon out of the fight gave the tac visor the last nail in the coffin, if you will, to finish that fight off. Really well done. The EMP not being available for that first push was problematic, as when it did go down, there was no follow-up. It was just desperation. So a strong start for Meta Athena on point A with their kind of aggressive forward positioning, but when they got punished by the first tac visor, things snowballed because it was only really one ult that Afreeca Freecs Blue needed to use, so had several available for the double capture. Let's see what Meta Athena is going to run with this time. Looks like they want to keep it more of the same. They've got such a low time bank to work with. They want to at least get the tick.
Yeah, look at this. I mean, you're 0-2 in a best-of-5 series, and you're now at 1 minute in comparison to the 5 minutes and 41 seconds available to Afreeca Blue. the mental part of this game is extraordinarily favored towards Afreeca Blue. Meta Athena, this is going to have to be some serious heroics to keep themselves in this series.
Meta Athena, a team that's been reverse swept multiple times. A lot of people attribute that to their kind of weak mentality when behind like this. So could actually be something that factors into this map specifically. 45 seconds left to go. Hoon's looking for this high ground push.
Looking for some sort of flanking players. Meta Athena are all moving around there. Libero already on this high ground has spotted out Ahan, who's off to the side. You can see Afreeca Blue once again just holding towards the upper end of the point. Hoon gets his way in. We're already at 20 seconds to go. Recry has taken out Chongshik. This could be so important as Nuss. He's gonna fall as well. I mean, at least they trade the Zenyatas, and this is so scrappy. Already 2 for 2 thus far, and Sire Player, he's gonna make it a one-sided affair in favor of Afreeca Blue. Ahan, he's almost at a Dragon Blade. This guy has been popping off this series, and it's a little bit sad because it's looking as though we're not gonna see much more from Afreeca Blue today. Because this 3-0 is looking very imperative.
Looks like, yeah, there's the Dragon Blade to finish things off. One more attempt here. Sire Player, he's forced off. There goes down the overtime. Recry with the Helix rocket kill.
Hoon
gets
in.
Just for a second.
And Chris is going to get killed. I mean, this is just the cleanup. As Meta Athena, they're going to fail to grab the first point.
I mean, when you talk about coordination, I feel like Freecs Blue all season long have looked to be just the pure best example of this in terms of shot calling, having Donghyun always there for the protection. And every single time Saya Player is going around looking for a pick, or we see Libero trying to sneak around on the Genji, it's consistently either Donghyun who comes to answer or Arhan who comes to answer. And as you were saying earlier, when a Tracer comes looking for a pick, looking for that harass, or maybe just that early kill, you never want to find the Genji. No. It's not what you're looking for, but every single time Freecs Blue is able to identify where they're pushing from, where they're flanking from, give the call to Arhan or give the call to Donghyun, whoever's best equipped to deal with it. And that was kind of the one-trick attempt there from Meta Athena, and they can't be blamed for it. They had such a poor time pool. It was the best they could have hoped for. Tried to get the pick early, but when that fell apart, there wasn't even time for a second push.
Yeah. And I also was so enthralled with the battle that I thought that imperative meant inevitable, which is very confusing because inevitable is one of my favorite words.
I was just going to let you go with that one. I was like, well, I mean,
it made absolutely no sense at all. I apologize everyone who was listening and who was also confused. However, now we're going to have a lot more time to talk about things, Wolf, because there is 5 minutes and 41 seconds in this time bank.
Well, it might not be that long because we might see a fast cap here. It's only one tick, of course, that Freecs Blue will require to secure this series and take their 12th map in a row. An unheard of statistic in Apex, have a team showing this much dominance. Oh, the right click here. Going to be a good start.
Well, Libero's started his May career today. Looking very, very good with that crit. Okay, we'll see whether he can set up for this defense. He's going to need to be here for a long time. I hope he's happy. Just looking for these picks. So far, Meta Athena holding this high ground nicely.
Tesla party.
Yeah.
Not going to be enough, it looks like here. Freecs Blue trying to force this. IDK though with the boop! On to Hoon, that's problematic. All they need to remember is the one tick. Mono finishes off Libero, he's out of the ice block. And he's got
already
the
halfway there as well, it's ticking up. Freecs Blue, they're on the point and they're gonna do it. The 3-0 victory. And they continue to stay undefeated here. Apex Season 3, Meta Athena just not looking good enough on the day. We thought that after they showed some flexibility against the Rhinos in that 3-0, that it could be a little bit more of a series, but Afreeca say, nope, it was no fluke that we clean swept our group. We are just that good, and they demonstrated that today.
I feel like it also, you know, to draw a storyline from a parallel universe really speaks to the strength of X6 with their win over Meta Athena, and Freecs Blue is still even able to 3-0 X6. They beat X6 RunAway, defending finalist of Apex, Uncia, and now Meta Athena considered to be one of their stronger opponents. going into this one. So they are 12-0, the third team ever to come out of groups with a perfect 9-0. And this team looks to be back in form. As Arhan said in his opening interview, in that Trash Talk interview, he said, feels like it's our era once again. They went to the Season 1 finals, and perhaps they want their way there again. This is a really powerful team, and every time we cast them, every time we watch these games, we expect good things. But even I could have predicted, after watching all those games and all the domination, didn't think this was going to be a 3-0, and I didn't think it was going to be this dominant of 3-0s every time. It felt like a 6-0. Especially with the third map there on Assault. They just looked so crisp. Control as well.
And I don't know whether it's even going to stop here, as now they're 12-0. They have to go up against X6. They've already demonstrated the fact that they can 3-0 that team as well. Who is going to stop Afreeca Freecs Blue?
It's
probably a team from the other group.
It's gonna, if anyone stops them at all, that is, Atlas, and this will set up the revenge match as well for Meta Athena in losers. They will face EnVyUs now. So that was a really great series you and I commentated a few weeks ago. Went all the way to Game 5, the reverse sweep for EnVyUs. So Meta Athena having a tough series here. They came into it very honest, very much saying we are the underdogs. We know this. We've had some trouble in scrims. But now they have an opportunity to defeat EnVyUs. But if they lose there, once again, they are out of the tournament. A team that made semifinals last season had a much stronger performance than Afreeca Freecs Blue did in Season 2. Yeah. But this team, with the addition of Lucid, Dongyun stepping up on the D.Va, as you said before, really a main Tracer player for so long, as D.Va was very low in his list of played heroes, but this season, he is making it valuable.
I feel like now it's finally ticked over, but yeah, it was, originally on this roster more of that Zarya player. But even when he switches over to that Tracer, I mean, you were mentioning it time and time again in that series. I mean, we finally got to see it on Hanamura, and still makes it so easy for them to flex towards that triple DPS composition. They looked so incredibly comfortable on everything that they were playing. This team is terrifying here in Apex Season 3, but we are going to have a short break, and when we get back, Kongdoo Panthera taking on Lunatic-hai. Don't go anywhere.
Coming up next, Lunatic-hai, Kongdoo Panthera.
언제 어디서나 깔끔하고 상쾌하게.
이런 게 트래비 스타일.
Stylish Sparkling Water, 트레비.
선수는 그냥 탄생하지 않습니다. 코어로부터 만들어지는 것이죠. 차이를 만들고 승리를 가져다주며 세상을 놀라게 하는 코어. 노력은 선수를 만들고 코어 i7 프로세서는 멈추지 않는 파워를 드립니다. 강력한 코어로 더 강력하게.
Welcome back to Apex Season 3, ladies and gentlemen. We are now up to our main event for the evening. The rematch between Lunatic-hai and Kongdoo Panthera. It was a reverse sweep by Lunatic-hai. The first time we saw these two teams way back when in Week 1. And we'll see whether it is going to be the same thing again or whether both of these teams have got some new stuff for us. Because already the rosters have been changed, Wolf.
Absolutely. So, spoiler alert, we're having Jito starting today and not Who Are You. So it looks to be a more Tracer-focused composition. We'll see if some of the other members flex into the Genji, but it feels very unlikely given the hero pools of Lunatic-hai. So unless in the time between the round of 16 and the round of 8, they've completely switched their positions and they're going to show us something we've never seen before. Looks to be very Tracer-focused, no Genji really coming into the situation. So an unusual scenario. Last time they swapped out a support for this, but this time it's going to be, of course, Who Are You, who takes a seat on the bench, at least starting things off. Risky, but I feel like it's best to have your sub in for game 1, so if things go awry, you can always sub them back out, because if you sub in the middle of a series, you can't sub them back out. So I like this choice to do the sub to start things out, and if things don't work well, they can always just put Who Are You back in the booth.
Yeah, the thing that's really interesting, though, is that last time they used this sub, they managed to utilize the triple DPS. So, not entirely sure how this is going to work, but let's hear from the players first up.
루나틱하이랑 제일 붙기 싫었는데
네.
4번이 나와가지고
왠지 느낌이 그 라스칼 선수가 저희는 루나틱이랑 붙기 싫었는데요 했던 그림이 점점
솔직히 울 것 같았어요. 대진 프로 보고 조 보고 아 진짜 큰일 났구나, 떨어질 수도 있겠구나라는 생각하고 하필 8강부터 걸려가지고 힘들게 이렇게 간지.
사실 저도 토비 형이 고를 줄 몰랐는데 죄송해요. 좀 미안해가지고 뽑고 싶지 않았어요. 저희한테 또 져서 떨어지면 많이 슬프지 않을까요? 우승 경력이 있다는 건 기세 싸움에서 일단 이기고 들어가는 게 있는 것 같아요. 그 슬로우 스타터라는 친구가 있잖아요. 그래서 0대2로 밀리고 있어도 항상 뭔가 질 것 같지도 않아요. 저희는 똑같이 하는데 이겨요. 3세트부터. 상대팀이 한 2세트 따고 방심하나?
잘한다고 얘기는 들리는데 왜 항상 보면은 8강에서 떨어지냐 16강에서 떨어지냐. 우승하기 전까지는 계속 부담이 있을 것 같아요. 마이티전 때 패배하면서 약점 노출이 되게 많이 됐었는데 피지컬로만 승부한다 그런 얘기 안 나올 정도로 정말 전략적인 모습 많이 보여드릴게요.
16강 때는 사실 좀 지루했고요. 이제부터 진짜 대회 시작이라고 생각합니다. 어찌됐든 이기는 건 저희일 거예요.
이번 시즌에는 무조건 우승해야 돼요. 제대로 복수해 보겠습니다. 저희 팀을 만나게 된 거를 정말 다행으로 생각하게 될 거예요.
8강 올라오면서 운 다 쓰셨네요. 지는 건 어떤 기분이죠?
Overwatch Apex Season 3, energized by Hot 6, quarterfinals. Today's matchup, Lunatic-hai, Kongdoo Panthera.
Okay, so Miro has a lot of swagger when he talks a heck of a lot of shit. I mean, that was some pretty gnarly words the man had for Kongdoo Panthera.
Yeah, and you know, his matchup against Fisher is not going to be an easy one tonight, so he's going to have to back it up when the Winston Tesla guns start flying, as we saw in our previous series. Huge cheers again as Lunatic-hai are the big fan favorites, but a lot of Panthera fans have come to watch tonight and to cheer, as they feel like the underdogs in terms of match history between these two. As Miro said earlier, Lunatic-hai knows what it's like to come back from an 0-2 deficit. They did it against Kongdoo Panthera. They did it against RunAway in the grand finals. So momentum, not a problem for this team. And as we saw earlier, Kongdoo Panthera in that interview, they didn't want to face Lunatic-hai, but they're stuck here anyways because Toby drew that 4.
And they looked a little bit upset when he did draw that 4 as well, so hoping that he may have had better luck. However, they've managed to take down Kongdoo Panthera before, and they sound very confident that they can do it again. Let's have a look at some highlights.
좀처럼 상대를 통하지 않는다 생각이 들다 보니까 다시 또 진경 하나 잡고 잡혔고요.
기도 2대1 거는 상태에서 조금 더 킬이 안 나오고 있거든요. 아직까지는
Kido.
빼게 만들면 되거든요. 근데 오히려 반대로
자, 그런데 이정희
초월을 사용했는데 이행이 이렇게 끊기는 건 아쉬운 상황이고요.
자, 위쪽까지 자, 계속 보고 있어요.
이 선수 잘 쏘거든요. 아나를 괜히 잘하는 게 아니기 때문에
Lijiang.
어그로 너무 잘 끌어줬네요. 미로 다 맞았어요.
아, 미로가 또 이렇게
Miro.
원시분도 있기 때문에 그렇죠. 뒤에서 와, 라카 옆에 같이 죽었어요.
3점이 보이는데요. 3점 보이는데요. 맞아요.
오, 에스카 메임.
Eska.
조금 전진. 근데 1점입니다. 그렇게 혼자서 얼마를 미는 거예요. 와, 마지막까지.
루시우 벤치 내쫓아내고요.
Toby.
완전 후속줄 장갑. 자, 근데
생체 소리 나는 것들도 아까 같이 넣어줘야 되는 거예요.
장갑 잡힌 이후에 호비. 자, 중바 둘.
중바 셋.
네, 계속은 안 되겠다. 이제 브레이크 한 번 걸 때가 됐다.
Zumba. Lunatic-hai.
Well, they are your Season 2 champions and your most certain fan favorites right here. Exciting to see 2 different Tracer highlights there as well, as Eska's Tracer has been brought into, I guess, some harsh relief over the last few few weeks, just given the fact that we've seen the uprising of so many phenomenal Tracer players here in Apex?
Absolutely. I mean, no one can deny, not even Eska himself, the Eska lol is a meme, it's a thing, and I feel like as good as Eska has been throughout his career, his inconsistency is one of the big weaknesses of Lunatic-hai. You'll see amazing pulse bombs, really good accuracy, coming in, the good tracking, but sometimes you'll see missed fights, you'll see lost 1v1s, even using ultimates, then dying in a 1v1 soldier versus soldier, for example. So definitely there's a wide range when it comes to Eska, and Lunatic-hai fans are hoping he is on point tonight. Hoping the good Eska shows up, as definitely did in the latter part of the first time these two met this season and the round of 16 on opening night of Apex.
Well, we know that it only needs to be in game number 3 as well, because this is a team very comfortable with a reverse sweep situation. But let's have a look over the other side at Kongdoo Panthera.
Luffy.
자, 이게 그 파괴력이라고 할까요? 용검을 켜서 써는 것까지는 좋은데 그 이후에 이렇게 지금 훔쳤어요, 엄청나게.
Fisher.
그 도와중에 라스카 선수가 정리하고 있어요. 그냥 잡히고 붙잡다하고.
자, 이렇게 되면
완전 뚫렸죠. 완전 뚫렸죠.
시간입니다. 콩드 파테라.
완전 그죠.
라스카리 다시 한번 이렇게.
Rasco.
오늘 이거 그냥 굉장히 좋았고. 자꾸 던져보고
자, 조금 더 버틸 수 있을까요?
상대방이 잡아내면 던졌어요.
이건 이렇게.
Boy.
선수가 저기 보는 거 있어도 되잖아. 근데 이건 나쁘지 않아요.
쉬워.
잡았어요.
야, 마무리를
모두리를 잡고
잡고.
약간 뒤로 빠졌다가 물리지 않아요. 잡아야 되는데.
Bird Ring.
아, 먼저 치면서 잡고까지 연계.
버튼은 내고 있어요.
Waka Waka. Kongdoo Panthera.
Well, his highlights made the DPS on the side of Kongdoo Panthera look incredibly good, but I want to start talking about Void, because this guy's diva, we just saw Donghyun, that guy was amazing, but Void has had some of the most clutch plays that we've seen so far here in Apex.
His tracking, I know we don't talk about diva tracking all too often, but it's, I mean...
That sounds as much of a meme as my ridiculous...
Sure, but I mean, when in terms of his accuracy on the diva, his chasing ability to catch those kills, we saw that a lot in his highlights just there, but a lot of the highlights we saw from Kongdoo Panthera in general came from their series against Lunatic-hai, where they had those dominant first 2 games, and I feel like Fisher was one of the main reasons why. So in this new meta where Winston is so important, and also in Korea specifically, in Overwatch, diva is becoming more and more critical. It starts to feel like you can really see the gap in diva play between teams rising, quite heavily. In our last series, Donghyun dominated. I feel like that was one of the main reasons why Afreeca Freecs Blue had such an easy time. So these two players, not the flashiest ones, not the most famous on Kongdoo Panthera, but perhaps right now, some of the most important. As we go to Control, we're starting things off on Lijiang Tower.
All right, exciting to see Lijiang Tower here as our first randomized Control map. Not exactly the place where Lunatic-hai generally take their victories. They were able to win Control the last time we saw them against Rogue, being able to pick up that 3-0 victory, but they did drop it to Mighty as well as Kongdoo Panthera. So we'll see whether they're going to be able to once again move their way forward like they did against Rogue, or whether it's going to be a repeat of our first week here and Kongdoo Panthera can get themselves off to a good start.
Really excited to see, again, Rascal's Pharah coming out. We're very likely to see it on this map to start things off, so can Lunatic-hai deal with that? That's going to be one of the big struggles they may face going to map number 1.
Well, we'll see whether they can do it right now as we hop onto Control.
I get it.
Ooh, that was closer than expected, Wolf.
Panthera fans coming out in full force. They want revenge.
It's their adorable outfits, man. Absolutely adorable outfits.
A lot of fans in the crowd wearing the sailor suits themselves, man.
Yeah.
Bringing it in. All right, so already question marks answered in terms of the composition. Guido's just going to be sticking with the Tracer, Eska on the Soldier. So we'll see if they actually continue with this. Lunatic-hai fans here.
I think it's cute.
Rascal is going to be on the Pharah, so this Eska Soldier is going to be very important. Already the concussive blast knocks
wow.
Miro.
So Miro, all that confidence that we saw in that video is answered by Rascal. Of course, they were the ones having the conversation, Wolf.
Yeah, and conversation answered here, at least with this first concussive blast. Now they have control of this choke point with a few more rockets coming in, looking for that ult charge as Guido looks to surprise.
He's not building any ult charge if he's just waiting there for so incredibly long. Has to recall quite quickly. But is able to get around the side as Lunatic-hai try and coordinate this response. It's a nice biotic field, though, denying so much of that damage. Rascal just picked off. Has he taken a lot of damage beforehand? Eska avoids the knockoff from that team. Oh, bird ring!
The Helix rockets, good call-outs there on the side of Panthera to give his location and also ask for some support to prevent him there from grabbing the health pack. Will this be the flip for Panthera? It doesn't look like it.
Well, this Baby Diva battle's actually looking pretty dangerous for Void. The mech was gained by Zumba, who just hops back in it one more time. Pulse Bomb comes in, no stick available.
All right, so Rascal yet again on the Pharah here, looking to find some picks, looks for the shots onto Eska. Unfortunately, good protection here so far from Zumba. As you can see, he's just babysitting everybody against this. Here comes the dive. Sound Barrier committed to counter it.
Yeah, we've got a lot of ultimates available on both sides, but yeah, there's the nano, but he's moved off the edge! Waka Waka is going to secure that one. Toby picks up a kill of his own, but Birdring now with so much damage. Another boop kill as Eska falls off the edge. This Lucio, he's booping on cooldown and picking up the kills, Wolf.
There's a 2. They had the concussive blast boop earlier as well, man. Several here for Panthera.
There's nothing cool than saying blast boop on air, by the way. That's one of my favorite alliterations.
Exactly. So the blast boop, super good. And now they have even an ult economy advantage currently with the flip. So you don't need ults when you can just knock people off the side of the map.
Exactly right. That was a whole nano boost just completely obliterated by just Miro falling off the edge. It's just too good at a Kongdoo Panthera, and this is what we know that they're capable of. They need to stay on this point and continue denying. Eska does have himself his ultimate available, so that beautiful tracking is certainly going to be there as Rascal, he's got a rocket barrage for himself, just trying to get rid of the defense matrix so that he can use it freely. But there it is, it goes down, eaten by Zumba. Like we said, that defense matrix so incredibly important. And now Lunatic-hai capitalizing. Kongdoo Panthera with a very late Transcendence from Luffy.
Oh, Transcendence here now. Eska has this tag visor as soon as it expires. And it looks like this time it's going to be Void who's one of the last to fall.
And that's just coordination far better from Lunatic-hai.
See you later.
Absolutely nothing that Rascal can do. He was just trying to fall off the edge as quickly as possible. Eska says, I want to pad my KDA.
Well, you know, that was really just a misjudging, actually, by Rascal, thinking that we were going to see Zumba was going to just continue moving forward there, and he saw the opportunity over the defense matrix to get those picks. I know we're going far back in time, but he wasted his ultimate there, and that was the beginning of the end of that fight for Kongdoo Panthera.
Well, Luffy's going to get taken down immediately here as Kongdoo Panthera run in, and once again, it's late on the ultimates. Both sound barriers go down, but Luffy, he's already dead. Birdring not going to get booped off as he's trying to run out here. He's in fact just getting beaten up by Miro, who's made sure that there is no soldier for this ongoing fight. Lunatic-hai losing a lot of their health bars, but the overtime is now ticking down and the kills are flooding in for Lunatic-hai. This is the championship match that we were wanting out of these guys straight out of the gate. As the overtime ticks down, that is a dominating first point.
Absolutely. Better judgment of the team fights. And again, we talk about the matchups of the Diva, Zumba versus Void here. It was really the misjudging of Panthera, looking for opportunities that weren't there because Zumba just reacted so quickly. Notably, of course, on that Rascal Rocket Barrage, that was the beginning of the end, I feel like, for Panthera. And this Genji-less comp coming out from Lunatic-hai as Who Are You is on the bench, looks really strong right now. Eska's long-range tracking when he's not being knocked off the map, very impressive, but feels like Guido is just the better tracer, way more coordinated, way better tracking than Eska so far. Eska's had his moments, but in terms of consistency on that first point, it's Guido. Oh, I have to prefer myself, Atlas.
Yeah, well, at the moment, he's not going to be on the Tracer. He's now going to be the resident Genji. So this is the real test. Can Guido be better than Who Are You?
This is his
Which
first
I think
Genji
is going
ever.
to be very, very difficult.
Yeah, this is his first Genji televised in Apex ever, so we'll see if he can make it happen. Impressing already on the Tracer. We haven't even seen how good his Genji is. No one has.
Kongdoo Panthera actually going to do without the Tracer completely in this composition. Rascal goes back to his tried and true Genji that we know he's very, very good at. Jaehong actually off to the side here is going to be unharassed on the point. Rascal picks up the kill onto Guido as that Genji battle is most certainly... Oh! That's going to be earned as there's the knockoff. Boy just says see you later.
My face when I just got Diva booped while I was trying to get some right-click kills.
Yep.
Poor Lijiang.
Body slammed by a giant mech. That is not what you want. As now, Kongdoo Panthera once again assume control of the point first up. They didn't last time though, and it didn't necessarily work out for them.
Massive ult advantage. Guido is only able to build up to 37 compared to Rascal, who's sitting on that Dragon Blade pretty right now. Birdwing going to have the tack soon, so just more consistent fighting there in this last fight. They're running the comp we saw from Afreeca Freecs Blue in the last set. There's that right-click kill.
Yeah, did he just right-click balls right into Luffy's face?
Looks
that was
like
terrifying. Okay, Eska's going to come in with a pulse bomb. We'll see whether he actually can get the stick. I believe there was a defense matrix there as Lunatic-hai, they come in with every ultimate that they can find, and they are going to be able to get the picks for it. In fact, almost everyone is dead on the side of Kongdoo Panthera. This flip is going to happen very quickly, and does so. We start moving things up. Only 42% gained by Kongdoo this time.
A very quick flip. The most important part of that fight was killing Rascal in Dragon Blade, but Kongdoo has 5 ults. Dragon Blade, of course, notwithstanding, to push here to actually try to retake. Transcendence is going to be the first one used as Luffy wants to give some sustain here. Zumba has this very important self-destruct. He's going to pop it down here to regain his mech.
Yeah, and Fish is actually just going to beat everyone up. Self-destruct comes in but doesn't net any kills. We'll see whether it's actually brought the fight in the position that they want it though, as Miro is able to take down Luffy. Now on the point, Kongdoo Panthera, they're ticking it up and they are going to get the flip once again. And they still have self-destruct and sound barrier and tack visor available to them.
Yeah, Zumba using that self-destruct there, the early point of that fight, is definitely going to be a problem for them, as Birdwing now has a sound barrier, doesn't need the tack visor until his best opportunity.
Oh, Guido!
Knocked out by Luffy.
And just after he uses the Dragon Blade as well, so no opportunities. Birdwing just utilizing his tracking right now, hasn't even pressed that Q button. Kongdoo Panthera just feel like they don't need it, as we are going to have a cheeky little attempted flip, but Toby's going to fall. Jaehong's going to do the same thing. So Rascal dancing around with his Dragon Blade now, but possibly a little bit late.
Yeah, not really necessary there. I like the more conservative style of Birdwing, for example, as you said, just relying on his own aim more than the tack visor. So held on to it even after Zumba was knocked out of the mag. So Void holds on to that self-destruct. They just want to save it there for the last push coming over for Lunatic-hai. All they have is the Transcendence, as Guido was killed immediately with that Dragon Blade last time. Gonna be desperation here out of Lunatic-hai. Here's the Transcendence.
Yeah, Jaehong's gonna get them at least onto the point as Guido immediately takes down Luffy. Can Kongdoo actually answer this as Rascal so extraordinarily low? Eska's gonna be able to secure that kill, but that's gonna be the knock off the edge. Void, he's just gone. And this should be the flip available now for Lunatic-hai, as Kongdoo Panthera will have some time to get a retake.
And now it feels painful that Rascal did use that Dragon Blade, because if he had it now, they'd have a 6 ult push. They still have the 5, of course, and Luffy can actually use his Transcendence to actually build up the Dragon Blade for Rascals. He'll be basically invulnerable there coming in to get that ult charge. So I like that Kongdoo just said, okay, let's just let this go. We're going to have a 6 ult push to follow this up. They didn't commit anything there. Now they're going to commit an Eska. Looks for the pulse bomb here. He's actually switched to the Tracer.
Yeah, it just doesn't get anything with it though, as Rascal takes down Jaehong already. Kongdoo Panthera now with a 6-man sound barrier, and Guido forced to get the heck out of this fight. He does keep a bunch of his health bar, but Luffy's taken down Toby. Miro falls as well as Void continues to go on an onslaught. Zumba's mech is just going to mean that there is no defense available. Overtime should tick down, and this will be 1-1 on control. As Kongdoo Panthera answer back. We got a series on our hands.
Oh, yes, we do. Very much a better control of the skirmishes on the side of Panthera.
Much better coordination that time as well.
And they had the better ult economy consistently. Obviously, when they had that longer capture, that's going to give them the edge there. But with the one exception of Rascal popping that late Dragon Blade, every time they had these big team fights, they only popped the ultimates when they were necessary, which is why we saw, instead of some desperation sound barriers, we saw the 6-man sound barrier, then the 6-man desynced Transcendence, so they didn't overlap, then the Dragon Blade coming in after all that said and done. So just better coordination in terms of ultimates. They had more to use because in fights that were really close, they just simply didn't have to. And Eska, again, kind of stuck between the Soldier and the Tracer, with Guido here instead of Who Are You. Kind of having to swap between them. They don't really have the opportunity to triple DPS here unless Zumba's going to switch over the Soldier, which would of course make them D.Va-less, which has been declining in popularity.
Yeah, most certainly has, but most people want to keep these divas amongst it, which is why Who Are You is going to be the one on the bench.
Exactly. See if that ends up being a liability for them later on.
Guido, back to this Tracer, like you said, so he's just harassing around the side. Opportunities for some kills, but forced to use that recall. Jaehong's going to take down Rascal. Those could be a great opportunity now for Lunatic-hai to get themselves the first cap. And Luffy's going to fall down as well. So with a man advantage, should just be control being gained as Eska takes control of this high ground, and Void is going to be destroyed after his mech was also dispatched as well. So first cap, the first time actually going over to Lunatic-hai.
Yeah, much better fight here this time, getting the angles there with Guido. On the Tracer. Third-person view is looking to look for the pulse bomb on respawns.
Oh, that was very close to sticking it, but unfortunately just right between the goalposts.
Felt very forced at the same time, though, and yeah, like you said, just kind of not quite finding the stick.
Build up that ult pretty easily, though, as yeah, you're exactly right. Kongdoo Panthera going aggressive. Rascal picks up the kill onto Toby, so dashes through. Transcendence going to be used from Lunatic-hai. They're investing a lot, but they're 6 versus 5 now. Rascal with the Dragon Blade trying to pick up the kills as Miro says no, and the attack visor from Eska is tearing them up. Self-destruct comes down, but Zumba just buying all of the space that he could need.
Yeah, now we're just going to see these spawns going to get split here as Fisher gets killed, so Desync's coming down, and Lunatic-hai look very dominant here on Control Tower now. Very aggressive use of ultimates yet again, especially Guido trying to go for that cheeky pulse bomb, but they went out in the last fight. Rascal's Dragon Blade very passive, and actually it feels like Rascal's Dragon Blades have been hyper passive every time. He's going to look for this again. Unfortunately, didn't quite have 100%.
Yeah, just building it up. Dashes in the back just to make them frightened. As Eska wants to work through his barrier. Yeah, so was I, as the pulse bomb does come in, but there's a barrier there. I believe it was just behind the other one, so understandable that it could be missed. But Lunatic-hai now have themselves a sound barrier. They're using it to hold on a Goomba Stomp kill onto Waka Waka as Miro just dispatches almost everyone. Birdring's going to die after both of his supports. There's no utility. There's 87% now. Kongdoo Panthera was so close to the cap.
There's not going to be, another real push with this with the desynced spawns. There's no way. Now they're going to get spawn camped here at the entrance to the control tower. They're trying to prevent this Winston from getting in. It's not going to happen, and that should be it.
Yep, there it is. No chance for Kongdoo Panthera to make their way back. And look, we were questioning Lunatic-hai on at least control point maps, but there is no question that first and third, of course, Garden and Control Center look so strong. We can forget about Night Market, that's fine. May as well just play an extra one to help get your eye in. And Lunatic-hai, our champions from Season 2, looking so strong.
I feel like the coordination for Rascal's Dragon Blades have been really good, especially on Garden there, where we saw him get the sound barrier or the Transcendence, not overlapping and finding ways to come in and get the kills, but it was usually him that came in with the Dragon Blade. Kills were avoided for the most part, and then he was just kind of playing conservatively, never dashing in heavily. And I feel like that's kind of it
can be scared, man.
Yeah, it can be strong, obviously, when you're waiting for that moment, when you know if you dive in at that exact moment, then you're just going to be picked off immediately or slept, for example. But in the control tower, he was just Dragon Bladed and not even attacking, not dashing into anybody. So needs to make sure that when he does go in with the sound barriers and the Transcendences, he has those, he has those targets in sight. So it's going to be a tactical pause. You have to assume on the side of Panthera here will be. So 3 minutes to talk it out, as that was not the match they were looking for.
No, I feel like they need to bring the psychologist into the room, because that looked like not the Kongdoo Panthera that we saw in the first series against Lunatic-hai, where they were playing aggressively. And this is looking even less coordinated than when they were first picking up a lot of criticism for having incredible mechanical skill but not necessarily being this coordinated squad. Now it's almost unforgivable, because we're close to a month in and still no real improvements as far as that is concerned. After they gutted Uncia, they picked up this amazing combination of players, especially in the DPS roles. Having Birdring and Rascal on the same team is disgusting, but they have to work together. We saw that on Garden, especially, with that rocket barrage that was immediately eaten, ultimates being just overlapped and not necessarily working. Like, the Transcendence plus sound barriers that were coming out at the same time were honestly unacceptable out of the team.
Realistically, I mean, we've seen it happen in North America for about a decade, where you take big names, slap them into a roster, you say, this is going to be it, right? And just at the start of the season, it felt like they had been scrimming well, they've been preparing well, going into the round of 16. It was like, this is the roster, this is the best Panthera we've ever seen. But in the second match against Lunatic-hai, they don't look as dominant. Now, let's not forget, we're one map into the series.
That's true. So I'm notorious for sample size abuse.
And it was a 2-1, so still, you could definitely feel the mentality, especially on Control Tower, was the weakest. So just going to give their mentality a bit of a boost here, and the big question is, what map are we going to go to? So I really like Eichenwald here, actually, for Kongdoo Panthera, because they're very good with the Bird Ring defense with the Roadhog. Not as common to see it from them on King's Row, so that's one thing they've got up their sleeve that could counter this heavy dive from Lunatic-hai if they get the consistent hooks, or, you know, knock D.Va out of the fight, for example. If you get a hook on a D.Va, remove that defense matrix, things get a lot easier. Could be used on King's Row as well, but I feel like Panthera really has a strong Eichenwald play, so that's what I'm looking for here. It's very likely just to be the standard King's Row. Perhaps they save that Eichenwald for later in the series when we get to the second hybrid map.
I certainly hope that it's not Hollywood, because Lunatic-hai have looked fantastic on that map.
Never want to pick Hollywood into Lunatic-hai right now.
Unless you want to go full hard mode, just for, like, you know, sometimes jumping into the deep end is a good idea to help reset that mentality, but that sounds completely ridiculous. Even King's Row is difficult against Lunatic-hai as well, because they do have fantastic strategies on both. So
it's also Kongdoo Panthera's their worst map in terms of hybrid, King's Row, which is rough considering it's the most standard, so you may have to face it in the best of 5 regardless if we go all the way. But for me, I'm pointing towards Eichenwald. If they have that special defense prepared, where they have the Bird Ring on the Roadhog. Tactical pause has expired now, though. It's time to make a choice here. We'll see if Lunatic-hai could just carry this momentum, because even though, as I said, it was a 2-1, a very close first map, and it was only one map, that third map seemed to be by far a different team for Panthera.
Well, I want it to be Numbani, personally. I feel like that could be amusing. And we haven't seen as much of it recently. But you're right, I mean, look at this. Zumba's just having a bit of a nap. There is absolutely no pressure being felt on the side of Lunatic-hai. They know that even if they're down 2 maps, that doesn't mean anything. Miro just holds this team together.
I like to see a scene like that with Zumba, though, as it shows, you know, the humanness of Lunatic-hai. It also shows that despite the fact that they had that dominant third capture, that this is still a high-stakes match for them. They were barely able to get the reverse sweep last time, and the pressure is real. So it looks like we have a technical difficulty here in terms of Birdring's microphone, if I understood correctly. So gonna have that sorted out pretty soon.
Oh, looks like Fisher. Yeah, Fisher's microphone.
Oh, so Fisher, sorry.
Yeah, struggling just a little bit at the moment, but we will have that one sorted out. I've actually had that particular headset myself and ran into a couple of issues.
So have I. It served me well for many years, but every now and then you got the headset problem. But
oh yes.
Vehicle of esports and all that.
Yep. And also, you know, given the fact that, you know, we go home, play video games for a lot of time, these things tend to
my biggest headset difficulty is I like to put my headset on my armrest on my chair, and then the cord
and then
gets caught.
you like people's elbow it by accident all the time.
Yes, and also my cord gets caught underneath the chair, then gets wrapped around. That is my least favorite thing about headsets ever. I can tell you, I get mad,
cords.
man.
I've got. Look, it's happening right now, Wolf. It's a disaster.
Be careful of your armrest, man. You never want that armrest cord. That is the worst. Where you're trying, someone Skype calls you and you miss it, and you're so frustrated because you're trying to grab your headset.
And then you're frustrated, and it's like twisted around the armrest, and you push your chair back, and then your headset gets torn off, and your ears start hurting. It's just a disaster. Okay,
you start bending your headphone jack, and you're like, oh, I'm not gonna buy a new headset.
This is two dudes just talking about how stupid they are when it comes to wearing headsets. I'm sure most people don't have any problems.
Most people just put it on their desk. Well, I put it on the armrest, okay, and maybe I shouldn't.
Let's cut the problem off at the cause, shall we? Oh, dear. Well, that's not the problem that Fisher had, and hopefully he can get his sorted out as quickly as possible.
Well, Lunatic-hai is still anxiously awaiting the map decision here as we head into it, so it's not a whole lot of discussion going on here.
Hey, that's
in the booth.
true. I mean, we may as well just continue getting frustrated about headsets.
Looks like headsets are coming back on, though, so it might finally be time. Fisher's got it in.
Oh, yeah.
It's time to see that map selection as our...
we forgot to actually do a bit of a scan of the booths to see who's got their headset resting on their armrest as well.
I messed up, man.
Oh, dude.
All right, is it going to be that Eichenwald? Going to be Hollywood.
Hollywood, okay.
So one of the reasons why you might pick Hollywood in this case, despite the fact that Lunatic-hai have looked so strong on it, is they've shown so many games on it, and they've shown the proclivity to pick it because they've lost so many control maps.
They've shown so many strategies on it as well.
Yeah,
Ryuja Hong played Widowmaker on this damn map.
So when you lose control as often as Lunatic-hai has, you have this map choice often, so they pick it so many times. They've shown those strategies you've talked about, so that's the counter-argument to them being strong on this map is that Panthera has so much to study, so much to learn for Lunatic-hai's composition. It's going to be important to scout it out very early on the attack, because Lunatic-hai has shown several different types of defense here.
Okay, sounds pretty frightening for me, to be honest, Wolf. We'll see whether they can actually make this one work. Kongdoo Panthera have thrown the gauntlet as we move towards Hollywood for map 2.
I get it.
Okay, Kongdoo Panthera, let's see what they have planned to try and stave off Lunatic-hai. See whether it is going to be something like this triple support composition that they are flashing right now.
Very likely solo DPS Bird Ring, though, not the Soldier. Or solo DPS Tracer, that's what Bird Ring will be playing with this. Swapping.
Yep.
So Rascal on the Ana, which we have seen before. Looks like they want to stick with it. And obviously this can oftentimes out-heal the dive, but it's definitely a double-edged sword because when you do run this, you lose your DPS quickly to the dive. If good targeting comes onto one of your supports as well, and suddenly your 2 support, the dive comes in, the momentum can swing very quickly. So the idea is to make sure that when the target comes in, the selection of Lunatic-hai is immediately communicated so you can protect them, out-heal them, and then eventually just out-sustain the attack to force them to reset. Dance party over here.
Yeah.
Very well coordinated, just like the ult usage for Lunatic-hai.
I feel like most of us would want to do that if we were in that actual room, so I like it. Lunatic-hai making sure that they're really role-playing this one out as effectively as possible, and also demonstrating the fact that they're still having fun. We saw in the booth that they did look very, very comfortable. That biotic grenade at least hit a whole bunch of them. It's Rascal doing some work.
Okay, looks like it's going to be the low ground pusher on the backside for the most part here for for Lunatic-hai. Eska actually was up here on the top, says sorry on that spray. As Kongdoo Panthera just played super far back, just again trying to avoid that dive kill, sticking together here.
Eska's going to get the Discord orb, so he does have to back himself away. Lunatic-hai just standing on this point, though, without a heck of a lot of contest, as Void does eventually come back around. Now with all this sustain, can he actually be utilized? As that first tick is coming in very, very quickly. It's so close as Lunatic-hai are not moving from this point. It's not gained just yet though, and no one has actually fallen as Void will lose that mech to start off with. Kiddo is going to be rewarded with at least the kill credit on that one as Eska going down low but doesn't fall. Fisher grabs Toby for now, but Eska's taken down Void. Unable to get that mech back in time as Luffy's going to get jumped on. Lunatic-hai honestly dispatching Kongdoo Panthera relatively easily here as they try to defend in Hollywood.
Just wasn't enough damage coming out from Birdring alone, so Guido gonna pop this Dragon Blade. They are starting to get some defensive kills here though, surprisingly.
Yeah.
Guido actually tries to get the Dragon Blade. It's just gonna be the defense here now. 2 ticks only is the slow trickling in respawns. Eventually, with the triple support, out-sustain Lunatic-hai, but at the beginning it was the lack of DPS.
Well, somehow, like, Void was taken out, and I was like, okay, looks like this will be the opportunity for Lunatic-hai, but it was Fisher being kept alive for so incredibly long, and being so sticky on that point that was able to give it to them, as Lunatic-hai are going to invest their Transcendence and then the Sound Barrier. It was nicely, I guess, coordinated between the two, as they do hold on to this point for a little bit longer. Guido with a massive triple kill, gets the priority targets there as well. Both supports are
the
dead.
deny on the remake as well from Void. Timing it perfectly there with his combo. That's how you do it. That's going to be the cap for Lunatic-hai. 4 minutes and 8 seconds of time pool. Gets a second Dragon Blade from this.
Man, who are you? Step back, my friend. You have certainly got competition within your own team.
This is, again, Guido's first time playing the hero in televised matches, so when you see him playing it this well, it's a little bit scary for who are you, as you kind of just alluded to.
Oh, yeah.
He's got competition now. So, I mean, the issue with Panthera there for the beginning part of that push, was, and part of the reason why Lunatic-hai had the old economy lead, was just because they couldn't find any picks. And Lunatic-hai was lower on health bars, but they eventually just got the picks they needed. When Void went down, you were absolutely right. That was the beginning of those ult charges coming through.
Well, Zumba actually just holding onto his life here as he backs away. A lot of picks now coming through for Kongdoo Panthera, but Lunatic-hai hold on to most of their ultimates. They're just building up towards Toby and Jaehong's ones themselves so that they can go in for another push and give this Dragon Blade a little bit more room to maneuver. Eska will probably throw out some pulse bombs where he sees fit. Otherwise, I have a feeling that the rest are going to be relatively coordinated.
Stressful 1v1 here, Eska versus Birdring. Birdring obviously more defensively positioned, so actually going to win the trade for now. Good blinks there, but it's not enough against the healing that Birdring had. Eska making a mistake there to fight into that one.
Whoa, and look at this. He's going to translate that into a quadra kill for Birdring. It all seems to snowball. And Lunatic-hai are going to have to go for another one. I have a feeling that they already knew that they would have to try this again, but look at this. We're reversing through the streets phase.
They wanted to get that first pick to shove to a place where they could 6 ultimate to make sure they got the checkpoint, but Eska really committing in there, trying to force that 1v1 on the Tracer, who had the health pack advantage and the healer advantage. Just a mistake there. As Dragon Blade comes out for Guido now, maybe they commit to several ults here. The Sound Barrier used from Toby as well.
But that was both supports already dead. There is no sustain now available for Kongdoo Panthera. They have to back themselves away. They don't have the Transcendence, but there is at least a Sound Barrier that they can use, but there's Transcendence on the side of Lunatic-hai. They utilized only 2 ultimates in order to gain that one back, and they still have the 4 left that they'd already built up, so it's nicely done.
Yeah, Panthera has several ults, but like you said, with very few used for Lunatic-hai, it might not be enough. They're going to definitely try to stop this for the checkpoint. Or will they? Waka Waka alone.
As well. I mean, the run back from Lunatic-hai is actually quite difficult. A lot being thrown down from Kongdoo Panthera, though, that Waka Waka is going to get destroyed immediately. Oh no, Eska just kills himself. That's a disaster. Okay, Lunatic-hai are able to still at least pick up a kill onto Luffy, and the self-destruct is going to grab Void.
Birdring taken out here as well, as Mira will pop that very important Primal Rage, and we'll get the checkpoint here. Eska's definitely not had his greatest moments on the streets phase here of Hollywood, but it feels like the rest of his team have at least dealt
Are you saying Eska's getting carried, Wolf?
I'm not saying those specific words, but I may be alluding to a similar sentiment, Atlas.
Just want to let you be held accountable there. But that's what that moment certainly felt like. Walking into your own pulse bomb. I mean, we've all been there, but it feels bad.
Feels bad. Not the first time for Eska, but anyways.
I tripped on my pulse bomb.
I tripped on my pulse bomb, guys. The push continues, though. Obviously, a lot of ults used for Lunatic-hai with that last one. So they're again looking for some ult economy here as they shove it forward. A lot of harassment going down. Here's the sound barrier actually used already. They want to force this.
Yep, they threw that one in. Kongdoo Panthera also invested the Transcendence to keep themselves alive, and they've traded 1-for-1 so far. Guido falls down. That could be a big deal here as Rascal did utilize his ultimate. Birdring picking up a couple of these kills, and it's nicely done. Kongdoo Panthera do get control of this payload once again, and Lunatic-hai will need to regroup, but now only with 2 ultimates by the time they get back here. One of them being that Pulse Bomb, the other being that Transcendence.
Now the rollback here too. Guido gonna switch onto the Roadhog.
Yeah, Mira on the Reinhardt as well, so
a big swap here. They just want to get some picks early with the grabs and potentially some charges. Looking to get that Earth Shatter here in the next 70 seconds as Rascals switched over to his May. Catches Eska. Nicely done.
Oh, there it is.
That's so huge for this push that only has 60 seconds left. Very well done. We've seen Rascal flex into this many times already this season. Normally with the Roadhog to pair.
That is beautiful. Using the wall to make sure that they can try and lock down this tank, but it doesn't seem to matter because the rest of the front line's being destroyed regardless. Miro lasted so long and they just picked up the rest of the kills elsewhere.
Yeah, Birdring nearly with the 4 there. Zuma just being completely ignored. Needs to get out of here. There's the right click to finish him off. It's another respawn desynced. They didn't get the whole hog they were looking for, the Earth Shatter. No picks with Guido on the Roadhog, so this swap was definitely a big commitment for Lunatic-hai, but they may regret it now. 20 seconds to go, and only the self-destruct.
Well, Kongdoo Panthera have given up a fair bit of ground, but they have a fair bit to work with as far as ultimates.
Failed hook, here comes the self-destruct against them. Void gets the double!
Massive damage, Void coming in. This guy, he's looked so good, avoids the self-destruct. Lunatic-hai's was just thrown away as Zumba had to use it to avoid dying, and Kongdoo Panthera wiped the floor with this team. Overtime ticks down and they don't get the completion. It's a decent push, and that first point was fantastic from Lunatic-hai, but Kongdoo Panthera deny them at that final choke.
Really interesting to me, we'd see the switch onto the Hog and the Reinhardt there as Rascals flexing onto the Mei.
But they immediately, like, that happened at the same time.
And it was just Rascals' walls that helped Birdring dominate, cutting the D.Va off away from the squishies in the back line so the D.Va couldn't protect. So Zuma's just like, I can't get to you guys, I'm so sorry. I guess you're just going to get blown up. Birdring gets the triple. And the hooks from Guido were just, I don't think he hit a single one that entire push. Part of it, obviously, the Mei wall minimalizing the area where he could actually try to hook.
Yeah, he was basically rendered useless as that Mei wall just cut up the entire walkway, and he would have had to move all the way around. He was only around corners and things like this. No real room to find those hooks.
Yeah, I mean, we could speculate as to what the idea with the Roadhog in the Reinhardt switches were, but because of the walls there, the hooks unsuccessful. I feel like there was definitely a plan for Lunatic-hai. Definitely it was a smart strategy.
It's like find a pick, be really tanky, and like be on that payload for as long as possible until you can get the hook that you need.
It just didn't work out though, and
yeah,
it felt like it was unnecessary, and it looked silly when it failed that hard. So really unfortunate they can't get the completion on one of the easier hybrid maps to get that. Panthera looks to run standard dive here. Rascal on the Hanzo, but we know that's just going to be for Sonic Scout.
I hope he stays on it.
I hope so too, but I doubt it.
Yeah. I'm actually just really disappointed because we didn't see it in our last series as well. And I thought that that was probably going to be the most opportunity for a Hanzo to come out. She feels bad, man.
I feel like before this tournament is over, we'll see some...
Like, Libero was my last hope. He was my last hope.
Hey, he's not out of the tournament yet. Could see it against EnVyUs.
Hey, that's true. That's true. Okay.
So, ooh, nice shot there from Lijiang. Builds a 3, builds the 5. Oh, he's sticking with it perhaps here. Sonic Arrow comes out first.
Dream!
Here we go. It's what you wanted, Atlas. Let's see if he can make it worth. As obviously you can tell, the quicker reloads here, the faster knocking of the arrows is definitely giving him a lot more DPS overall. No picks just yet. The bubble here going to be a problem for him, but now he's starting to find the damage.
Yeah, we know the Lunatic-hai are very, very good at this particular composition. Void already taken down the mech, no defense matrix to stop these arrows, as Rascal's just fishing for these kills, but he's untouched. Ain't no one can move him off this point. We've already hit the 3rd tick. And this dive from Kongdoo Panthera just seems to be something that they can't deal with. There's the headshot finally onto Lijiang, and he's being answered. So, Zumba takes him down, but Birdring's taken out Miro. Not a lot of opportunities as now Void sitting on this point, feeling comfortable. Lunatic-hai seem to be back in control once again.
Yeah, just for the time being here, Void actually wants to commit, and there's the Discord to help get the kill. This is going to be the cap, so very similar times here. 5:19 coming out for Panthera. So, but part of the reason why I feel like we saw that Hanzo play, obviously the buff is a big factor, but you can actually get one-shots onto heroes with this. You can do a massive amount of burst damage.
That's true, against that triple support makes
so
sense.
You counter the triple support, and then obviously when you get the big Hanzo ult coming out, that just basically kills people instantaneously. It didn't matter there in the end, but kind of a cool concept here that worked out very well for Rascal.
Yep, now going to move over to his beloved Genji. We are going to have Luffy throw down the Transcendence just to help move this one along. It's answered by the sound barrier from Lunatic-hai, who want to take back control. The double kill! Void just seems to find the self-destruct kills all the time, then grabs Zumba afterwards. Like, should this not be happening, Wolf, or is he just that good? I don't understand.
I feel like he's definitely really good. The coordination we're seeing here from Panthera, really good. Watch this, just up into the sky, and there's no way to retreat here with the Winston diving in. Fisher actually preventing their retreat there, so kind of a coordinated attempt between Void and Fisher. As I talked about before this series even began, like those are going to be the big duos that are less flashy than what we're seeing from Birdring, but absolutely make the big plays. They're shown sometimes off screen. Okay, here comes Fisher diving in the back, looking for Lijiang.
But Guido's already died. Birdring found the stick with the pulse bomb. And that's going to make it 6v5 very early on.
He's got Primal.
They will lose a heck of a lot from this as Fisher, you're exactly right, going ballistic.
And this is what, the 4th self-destruct we've seen from Zumba, completely worthless. Why even use it here? You're alone, you're not buying in time for anybody. You're just hoping for mistakes when you're using it like this, and now that's going to be the cap.
Void do it, and he's like, don't you normally get 3 kills with this ultimate? Like, it's like press Q, get 3 kills, right? No, certainly not how that one works.
Definitely not. So Rascal now about to have that Dragon Blade as the push continues. A huge time bank for Panthera as the crowd is silent, as this looks to be domination here. Guido looking for the pick with the Helix, doesn't find it.
Well, we found that this final push is the most difficult one, especially as far as defender's advantage is concerned. So Lunatic-hai want to settle themselves in, make sure they can take control, but this keeps moving as fast as it is. This payload would certainly just park its way forward. Remember, they don't need to make the full push. They need to get just into this doorway, which is a lot easier to do.
Rascal's in the pot this.
Oh man, they've taken so many kills already. Rascal grabs Lijiang as Miro's gonna fall to this big sword that he's just stabbed into his back. Void comes through with the kills as well.
And that's it, man. That is going to be the completion. No one can even touch this team right now. It looks like Hollywood was the right choice for Panthera. Very well executed. The Hanzo push to build them the early time bank, and then just consistent fights, the ult economy advantage. And, you know, I keep focusing on the Diva matchup, but especially on Hollywood. Void absolutely was a better Diva than Zumba. The self-destructs, the coordination with Fisher, with Birdring harassing, Rascal harassing, stopping them from retreating there. I feel like this is going to be more to come like this one with good self-destructs.
And I love it. Like, you go back to Lijiang Tower, and that was Zumba being there with the defense matrix, making sure that he can hold his team together, and that was able to net them the 2-1 victory on that map. So much of this is coming down to the Diva play, and now that we're tied up 1-1, it's going to be a different storyline to the last time we saw these two teams, and Kongdoo Panthera have an opportunity to do a sort of reverse sweep of sorts after just one loss, you know?
Yeah.
Like, maybe this is where their mental gets turned around, because that was a much better looking Kongdoo Panthera than we've seen in the past.
Nesca is in the captain's chair as well. Some shaky moves on attack, some really unfortunate mistakes on the Tracer, so mentality maybe a little bit low now for Lunatic-hai.
Yeah, don't want to trip on your pulse bombs, guys. That is certainly not what you want. But we are going to go to a short break, ladies and gentlemen. When we get back, we'll see who's going to be able to take down this series between Lunatic-hai and Kongdoo Panthera.
언제 어디서나 깔끔하고 상쾌하게.
이런 게 트래비 스타일.
Stylish sparkling water, 트래비.
노력은 선수를 만들고 코어 i7 프로세서는 멈추지 않는 파워를 드립니다.
Welcome back to Apex Season 3, ladies and gentlemen. We're all tied up between Lunatic-hai and Kongdoo Panthera. This is what we wanted from this series. We wanted at least more than 3 games, Wolf, and we're guaranteed to get it. Kongdoo Panthera looking fantastic, though, on Hollywood. Dangerous map to choose against Lunatic-hai, who've looked so good on it.
They had their number against a triple support there with the Hanzo opening, which was rare, but worked really well for them. They forced Lunatic-hai back and took control there, knocking Zumba out of the D.Va suit, which again I want to just highlight once more, specifically on Hollywood. Boyd definitely had the better D.Va play, pairing there with Fisher and Rascal.
Shout out to Rascal's May play as well at the very end. That ice wall was stunning, making sure Miro had nowhere to go. We are going to see what our 2CP is. It's going to be Volskaya Industries. Thank you so much, Universe.
So definitely one of our more common 2CP maps this season. Definitely not as common in previous seasons for reasons everybody knows, but it's definitely more figured out now. The Sombra play is dictating how this map is done, very much so on attack and defense in most matchups here, and most best of fives we've seen. So I think that's going to be a key factor going into this one. This is obviously the map choice of Lunatic-hai, so if they're going to innovate, if they're going to go against the grain of the meta, now is the time to do it.
Yeah, and look, I'm excited because Rascal Sombra has looked very good, especially on 2CP.
Yeah, and he's one of the only players that is a DPS that plays the Sombra. Of course, we saw it from Taimu as well.
Yeah, I feel like we've seen a heck of a lot of different players playing the Sombra. It's like everyone wants to flex to it because she's so much fun. Well, we'll see whether she's going to be played on 2CP right now.
I get it.
Okay, welcome to Volskaya Industries, ladies and gentlemen. We're sunny Russia, sunny and cold.
Is it really sunny? It's
Yeah,
a
it's a bit sunny.
bit cloudy. It's a bit
just
hazy.
Behind the, see, it's behind the building. It's the sun.
I mean, it's a bit I mean, it was
There
like
is some, there is some bloom going on, okay?
I don't know. I mean, it looks pretty foggy, hazy, and cloudy to me, Atlas. I don't know what to call it.
It's
like also-
daytime, okay?
It's also
the sun
like,
exists at
it's also
one point.
mid-evening. Like, I'm like, I don't know, man.
That's actually the moon. Somehow we're actually on Lijiang Tower, which is just definitely darkness all the time.
It's
really
cold,
screwed up.
it's dark, it's dreary. Okay, but I mean, there is a sun in the sky. We saw it. I'm pretty sure it was the sun, not the moon.
Well, Lunatic-hai starting off on defense. Once again, standard 2-2-2 composition. Genji-less, given the fact that EnVyUs isn't there, but Guido did look good. So it means that they can certainly flex to whatever they want to do. But his Tracer has looked fantastic as well, and we'll see whether this is going to be the way they hold on Volskaya. Because on defense, there are a few interesting options that you can go for, and funnily enough, we don't have any Sombra at all.
Yep, none. So just going to be the 2-2-2 with the Eska Soldier and Guido on the Tracer. So more of what you'd expect to see on kind of any other map in terms of a high ground defense. The lack of Sombra, though, definitely unusual. Birdring dives into Eska. Immediate protection, though, coming up from Boyd. That's what I like to see.
Yep, just teaming up together, getting him off that high ground, and he has to run all the way around if he wants that position once again. Both supports jumping down on the side of Lunatic-hai, so that high ground advantage most certainly not there. However, it doesn't matter because already they've picked up 2 kills. Kongdoo Panthera will need to move back, but Miro sacrificed a lot of his health bar for it.
Yeah, I meant to say Zumba, of course, the protection, not Void in this case, who was able to mitigate almost 100% of the DPS coming out from Birdring there, nearly getting the pick. So forces them back, burns some of that time bank as everyone resets for another push. Looks to be a coordinated dive this time.
Yeah,
see where they decide to go.
I didn't understand the idea of Kongdoo Panthera there, but it just flat out didn't work because it was all just the stragglers then. As you know, that big dive happened from Birdring, couldn't find any kills, and then everyone was scattered and mixed up as, okay.
Just looking for the dive onto Eska. Consistent defense here, though, for Lunatic-hai to prevent this from happening.
Oh, Jaehong's gonna get taken down. Fisher does get in the back, just Teslas his face off.
Luffy
And
on the high ground now.
with the high ground, should be able to get something going on. Kongdoo Panthera playing this triple DPS composition, but utilizing it a different way.
Yeah, with the solo support Lucio here, having Luffy flex onto the soldier, pretty rare to see for Panthera, but it will get them a very early cap here on Volskaya. The attempt was on Eska. The block came through from Zumba, but then it was Lijiang who was exposed there, and I guess you take what you can get and you collapse it onto the point. So good coordination from Panthera. You could tell how they were moving, that they were definitely looking to get whoever was exposed there on the high ground.
The question marks for Lunatic-hai that were brought up, though, were the fact that sometimes countering the dive onto Lijiang has been an issue. His Zenyatta especially has found himself susceptible in a lot of these matchups. There's the Pulse Bomb, going to really weaken that mech, is taken down there. As you can see, Guido gets in.
That should be
no
a reset.
defense matrix, and Void so important here for Kongdoo Panthera. Should be able to get that reset. Exactly right, Wolf.
Guido's going to try to get as much percentage as he can out of this. That's why he's going for the chase, but Panthera will set up for now potentially this 6-ult push. This is going to be terrifying for Lunatic-hai. They have a lot of tools themselves, but if they use it once, then Panthera, if they get a slight edge, they have such a large time bank to work with to get the double cap. Let's see how they want to play this.
There's so much damage available to them as well with all of these ultimates. Attack Vise are going to be very useful, but as I say that, Luffy's just getting picked off by the damage from Eska, who's just taking control of this high ground.
Ooh, he's going to go for the flank here from behind. This could be amazing. He finds Eska, takes out
Helix
Toby.
Rocket onto Toby. Is going to be able to grab him the kill. Attack Vise are in here now. There's okay, a very big monkey with a nano boost that should be able to deal with him, but look at this. Fisher, he's also been able to get the work done, and then there's Eska. He still had the high ground. He was still dancing around. And it should be that Lunatic-hai can answer this one back, but still a lot alive on the side of Kongdoo Panthera, and Rascal now switches over to the Sombra.
They really want this, you know, they had such a large ult advantage. I thought they were just going to walk away because Lunatic-hai had to use everything. But they start to commit everything they have too, and like you said, with the switch of composition, it makes more sense that they would be doing the commitment of ults here. Post-bomb attempt here by Guido. Not going to find any kills, unfortunately. The defense, though, should actually commence here for Lunatic-hai.
What is this? He always gets kills with that dang ultimate, and now they're flooding through. Only Miro and Toby are still alive. Miro just finds himself back in, but look at his health bar. It's getting evaporated. We're ticking. We're already up to the first one. Second tick now, as everyone from Lunatic-hai has to get hit finally.
Zumba.
They've made it onto the point, but it's just Zumba utilizing his mech to try and hold on.
No main
and it's
switch.
just stragglers. Tac Visors there to clean up. Sound barrier in as well. Kongdoo Panthera looking so strong.
Toby pushed off. There's the kill on the Miro, and that is going to be the cap. 330 in the time pool. They had the huge ult advantage after that first skirmish. Lunatic-hai dropped everything they could. Panthera got a slight edge in the fight. But you would have thought that with defender's advantage, Panthera was going to walk away saying, okay, we only used a few here. We're going to have another stronger push. We've got a large time bank to work with. But they came back in quickly with Rascal. He got some good hacks off there, but it was mostly Birdring just finding the consistent picks. Whenever they got the kills onto Zumba, he was just running away with the fights. And so,
but never overextending as well, Wolf. It was always back with his team, able to defend so that Guido couldn't go completely ridiculous in the backline as well, so his support was protected. Void was always there, of course, with Defense Matrix as well.
Lunatic-hai also didn't have the answer for Luffy's flank, his sudden Helix Rocket extravaganza.
Well, and that was a full nano boost invested just to deal with this one soldier that had already got 2 picks. His job was done, and then Miro had to stand there and utilize the entire duration of that damn thing to get through the biotic field that he was standing on.
He wasn't doing any peel during that entire time. So, speaking of Rascals, Sombra, we're going to see it here again now on the defense, a more standard defense from Panthera as what we've come to know in terms of Season 3 meta.
And I know you guys at home are excited to see what he can do now on the defense. We saw Chips from ENVY do some amazing things on the Sombra.
So what this offers when you have Rascal as a DPS on the Sombra instead of using a support is it allows Luffy to flex into the soldier. He's already shown that he's a very good soldier, as we saw with that flank attempt in the last fight. So it's normally if you had a player that's weaker on the Soldier. A support player is not good at Soldier. This would feel like a weak composition using your DPS, but because Luffy has that experience and is a solid Soldier player, as was Jason on attack, I like this setup a lot for Rascal. It's not the first time we've seen it, and I don't think it's going to be the last.
It looks like a lot of comfort here from Kongdoo Panthera with this triple DPS, so Rascal just going to try and find himself as much ult charge, maybe even a cheeky kill onto Toby, who's gone down so incredibly low.
Not forcing anything, just doing what he can to harass. Translocates back in.
Didn't even take damage, though. He was just getting back with his team. Because look at that, Birdring off to the side. It's Guido that was able to find a lot of damage there. Still pushing this one through, but not a lot of ground being gained here by Lunatic-hai so far as Rascal takes down Eska.
That's huge. Yeah, good coordination. I feel like the callouts for Panthera have been really good, just saying whoever's low, where they are, and when to hit them. So we're going to see the boop here. Not even needed. He kills him mid-air. There's another shot there by Birdring to help finish off Toby. And that is a shutdown push. Ult economy advantage, massively in favor of Panthera. They have the EMP available.
As you always tend to.
And the thing is, like, I don't even think they have to use it here because they know that Lunatic-hai doesn't have ults. They all got picked so hard. There's no ults, so probably going to wait until a big ult push comes out for Lunatic-hai. As I say it, though, here comes the sneak around the flank, and here we go.
Yeah, EMP comes in. Didn't even need to break any shields with it either as the pulse bomb comes through from Birdring. Doesn't find the stick as Miro is actually able to get a pick onto the Soldier player. Does make his way back, but he's a long way away from this battle. Okay, now Eska, he's got a lot of space, but actually has to move away.
And finally, Eska got a lot of damage done on this Soldier for the attack here. Sound Barrier going to protect everybody as Rascal is out of this fight. We're getting a second EMP. Eska's got the nano here, but he's pushed into the corner. Can't get that health pack. It's hacked. He has the tac visor. Doesn't want to use it in this situation. Down he goes.
Wow, so strong from the front line here on Kongdoo Panthera's side as they're answering back with the kills. Guido tries to get the recall, but Luffy's just going to kill him. Tac visor answers it just because, you know, the tracking's so good when you've got that ultimate running.
Yeah, for sure. That's how you track. It's beautiful, some would say.
Yeah, some would say. Some idiot commentators.
Who would say that? No one would ever say such a silly thing.
Oh, just ridiculous. More hacks coming down, though, from Rascal.
He's got the EMP now, and in terms of ult economies, Eska, he didn't use his tac visor because he died, but may just get shut down because of the EMP. Rascal just drops down here a little bit desperately, but already Zumba's out of the mech, and that means no protection for Eska. We're not going to see a tac visor here.
That's exactly what that EMP was for as well. There's just no defense matrix. You can't save the mech. And look at Kongdoo Panthera. They're not even on the point. They don't care about it. They're killing everyone. Guido just dives into that freezing ocean and now needs to figure out what the heck Lunatic-hai are going to do with only a minute remaining.
Rascal nearly with another EMP. Also, Guido tossing that pulse bomb out, definitely a mistake because there was just no way they were going to turn that fight. The targeting again on the Diva, which is, as you said, what the EMP is designed for. So Eska still has that tac visor, but again, just like the last fight, if he can't use it, it doesn't matter that he has it. Here comes a pulse bomb, eaten by Zuma. Good protection here.
Yeah, really nicely done. Coordinated strike as Zumba's taking so much damage. It seems that eating that pulse bomb didn't even really matter because he's still going to lose his mech. Eska, he's got the tac visor, he's got the nano boost.
EMP.
There's the EMP coming out as Rascal's then able to take down Guido, who just could not jump around like the tracer he is. On the other hand, though, Birdring's gone ballistic. Look at all the kills from Kongdoo Panthera. There's only 20 seconds remaining, and Lunatic-hai haven't got a single tick on this point.
Zumba had to commit there to the defense matrix to protect his Rujiang, his Zenyatta player there when the dive came in from Birdring, which means he didn't have it to protect Eska. And as soon as the attack visor was popped, you see Void come to him like a magnet with only the Primal Rage. Let's see what Lunatic-hai can get done. Self-destruct up into the sky here.
Yep,
no one can even get to the point.
Oh god, Eska's been picked off. Birdring gets the stick, and that may have just won them the assault map here on Volskaya Industries. This was Lunatic-hai's choice, and it's looking like it won't be a success. Overtime ticks down, and Kongdoo Panthera move to match point.
One went away from getting revenge. They had the 2-0 last time they faced Lunatic-hai. The reverse sweep came in. It wasn't an easy one. Each game of the reverse sweep, that Lunatic-hai took all three. Very, very close. But Panthera looks more dominant tonight in the maps they've won, Hollywood and Volskaya, than I feel like any of the maps they showed on opening day of Season 3. When you look at how they're playing this, the harassment, always going onto the backline. The problems here for Lunatic-hai, I really feel like you have to draw them onto Lijiang and you have to draw them onto Zumba. Because Lijiang is always out of position and Birdring is harassing him, forces Zumba back, which means no one's protecting Eska when he's on the Soldier, which is part of the reason why I feel like we keep seeing the swaps with Eska and Guido, with the Soldier, the Genji, and the Tracers. They just can't find the protection for the Soldiers, so they keep going back to what they know with the Genji, which Guido isn't even that experienced on in terms of televised matches. So Rascal is finding the harass, Fisher's finding the harass. The defense matrices have been used early for Zumba, and they get punished for it a lot of the time. Looks like it's time for a tactical pause here, and warranted, because in terms of this composition, you may even want to consider bringing Who Are You back into this, because I feel like this is not working out. Eska
I don't
on
even
the
know
Soldier.
whether bringing Who Are You back in is actually going to solve any of their problems, though, because like you say, it's on Lijiang and it's on Zumba. Both of them are necessary, right? You need both of these guys in there, but it's inconsistency from both of them. When Lijiang is playing well, he is a god. That's undeniable, right? His honor is legendary. We all know that this is Lunatic-hai. This is a team that has established itself as one of the best in the world, if not the best, right? But Kongdoo Panthera is honestly finding the weak spots in this team and pushing so hard to try and deny it. And also, what makes this team good is honestly where Lunatic-hai have shown the most weakness. Birdring's dive on the Tracer. Unbelievable. And look, we've seen Lijiang be brought down by that one, especially on his Zenyatta. We saw it in previous series. And Zumba is just being out-divad by Void the majority of the time.
And some of the blame has to be put on Lijiang, because he's getting out-divad many times because he has to use Defense Matrix to save Lijiang, and it looks sick in the moment, right? Defense Matrix comes up, and it looks like, okay, this is just a total waste of DPS coming out from Birdring. What is he even doing? Until he recalls, comes in and hits Eska, who no longer has that protection. Or during the fight, Zuma gets knocked out of the mech while he's hyper-committing, because he's going to a place where he should never be, because Lijiang should never be that far forward as a Zenyatta. We saw so many of his first-person views today, especially on Hanamura, where he was looking for the picks, looking for the kills, looking for the flashy plays, the right clicks. But when you're going in this heavy against a team that's designed for anti-dive, when they have the Sombra and they're looking for harassment onto Eska, I just feel like you can't be that far forward, you can't be that aggressive.
Yeah, and the Sombra has become like such an incredibly pivotal part of the meta as well, especially on Assault. Like Rascal, people have been excited to see it once again. It came out and it delivered as well. Every time he had an EMP, it was thrown out, the priority targets were then taken down, and Lunatic-hai had multiple opportunities to switch up composition. They did nothing. They just stuck with what they were doing, and like an insane person, tried again as if they'd achieved different results.
Something I wrote down in my notes and in my research of leading into this matchup, especially in their matchup against Panthera last time, they struggled to adapt. They ran the same compositions over and over again, running a hit scanless comp against Farah, for example, when Rascal was playing it. Things like this that shows that when Lunatic-hai has a plan, they stick with it. They're hell-bent on that.
Stubbornness,
and when it's not working, you see the swaps with the Eska, Guido, and of course Zumba switching around who's playing which DPS, but I just feel like the play we see from Guido, yes, he looks to be a decent Genji, but the coordination is not there. When the focus is on Guido, the focus isn't on Eska, and Rascal is just playing a better Tracer than either of them, which causes Zumba to have to go into this defensive place that he just uses defense makers too early or gets picked. So for Lunatic-hai, as we move into Escort, I mean, it's tough, man. I'd say avoid Dorado.
I wouldn't, because I love the map, but I understand exactly what you're saying.
It's a map where you've seen Kongdoo Panthera with amazing holds, with the with Birdring on the Roadhog and the Rascal May, which we already saw do very well on Hollywood. So that's my don't go there map. Perhaps Route 66 will be the way. Let's see.
I want Gibraltar, but I always want Gibraltar. It's not going to be. It's going to be Dorado.
Brave against this team to pick the Dorado.
But last time we assumed that. I mean, this was Hollywood, and it was Kongdoo Panthera's choice, and they were able to take it down. Then Volskaya chosen, but dispatched by a very confident Kongdoo Panthera who had all of the answers. We have to remember that that was a Lunatic-hai decision to go to Volskaya. And it was obliterated. That was honestly a schooling. They had a 3 minute 40 time bank moving into a full hold on the first point.
And just no Sombra play coming out whatsoever, just not playing the map to what we accept to be true in terms of Korean meta. We just did not see it. And we'll see if Panthera wants to run that Roadhog Mei defense that had great success for them in the past.
Well, we'll see. Might even see a Junkrat as well because it was so successful on the attack, but I don't know about that one. Let's just do it. Let's hop onto Dorado.
I get it.
Oh, wow. That fan was very, very excited. And look,
Absolutely.
I would be too.
Cheers here for Lunatic-hai. Stay strong when they're down here. Remember, this is not the first time they've been down in the series with match point against them. Two very specific series that come to mind, as I know I sound like a broken record at this stage, were the grand finals against RunAway and then their match against Kongdoo Panthera on opening day in the round of 16. They bounced back both times.
That's the really frustrating thing, right, is you get to match point, and if you're going to win, you always have to get to match point. But I could imagine that Kongdoo Panthera are now feeling worse.
Sure.
They're like, oh no, we're at match point. We've made Lunatic-hai hit Super Saiyan mode. What is going to happen? But if they play like they did on that assault map, God, Volskaya looked so good for them. They need to keep up that momentum. They're on a comfortable map now. Everything is going Kongdoo Panthera's way. It looks like they're going to go with a standard composition here, just with that Sonic Arrow coming out from Luffy. Should move himself over to something else afterwards. We'll see whether it's the Zenyatta or the Ana.
Probably going to be the Zenyatta with
Or
this
he goes
stop.
for the Soldier again, who knows?
Well, he's sticking with the Hanzo for now. Here we go. Hito's already super low. Eska doesn't have to pick on the Fisher. Rascal goes down. We'll see if we see a swap here. If he wants to stick with it.
Well,
yeah, he does swap into the Zenyatta.
He swapped immediately. He just managed to get a quick scatter kill out of nowhere. Toby was unfortunately a little bit too far up. So they are pushing this one up. So we'll see whether they actually make it through this choke point that has been a difficult one for people to move forward in.
I like Lijiang switching to the Ana here. Definitely going to stick to his more accomplished hero, where he's going to be forced to position himself very far into the back lines. Rascal here just not really feeling all that pressure from Miro right now. The huge dive in, nearly punished.
Yeah, all the harmony on him, and honestly, that Tesla gun did not feel all that much of a problem.
Bit of a tickle.
Yeah, a little bit of a tickle, as Rascal's going to win.
No one dealing with
Genji
Birdwing
battle
right now. He's just sitting in the back looking for more picks. 1v1's Eska. Not even needing the recall. He still has it available. No blinks. There's the recall.
Almost kills himself with the pulse bomb, but he's going to be fine. That was more of a celebratory ultimate there, as he picks up the kill onto Zomba all too easily, as he was trying to reset anyway. But look at this. This is dominance.
Domination coming in here. Dominance for sure, Atlas. Is the ult economy is way better. Guido was picked several times there, and nobody dealt with Birdwing. Where was Zumba when he was getting the kills? Where was Zumba when he 1v1'd Eska? There's nowhere to be seen, so the push continues. They get this very early cap. They've got such a nice time bank to work with now. He's looking for something else here. Again, if this doesn't get a pick, it forces Zumba to use Defense Matrix early, so it's win-win as long as he can get into position. Messes up the jump there, unfortunately.
Yeah. Well, Rascal does go in with the Dragon Blade. Just looking for Lijiang, but doesn't actually find the kill. Toby's there as well. Guido picks up Luffy on the background, but look at this. Birdwing coming in and getting the kills. Rascal bought so much time, and that's Lijiang finally going down as the dash comes in.
Birdwing picks up another onto Toby. Rascal just on the chase here. There's no way out for Miro.
Oh, man.
Feels like Lunatic-hai's falling apart.
Rascal's a man on a mission right now. He's the one that looks like he has the confidence that Miro had before in that player interview that feels like so long ago.
When you think about, when you look at this duo of the Genji and the Tracer in terms of harassment, it's just so crisp. Just kind of having flanks on both sides. Lunatic-hai struggling to deal with both ends of this dive. Not even coming in together, just splitting and going for the backline from two different angles of approach. Guido, though, does get the pick on the Waka here.
Well, Transcendence actually comes out from Luffy as well. That is a big deal because Guido still has that Dragon Blade. Waits for it to time out, and now he's going to throw in that ultimate. reflects a lot back, but it looks like he's getting dealt with. Zumba gets a double kill with his self-destruct. What is it with that ultimate in this particular series? As now Miro, he's going to be able to capitalize, and Kongdoo Panthera unable to continue this push forward. It looked so strong. But finally, Lunatic-hai find themselves some semblance of stability.
Just felt like a really unnecessary transcendence coming in from Luffy.
Yeah.
There was nothing to follow up with it, and so that was a moment where
I think he
Guido
was trying
like,
to save Waka Waka, but just didn't get it in time, and then it was a waste.
and there was no way they were going to push that into the checkpoint, so it felt like it was like Guido said, okay, I guess you guys are going to commit to the Transcendence, so it felt like a trap set up from within Panthera. Here's the Dragon Blade from Rascal without the Transcendence to pair with it. Doesn't matter, though. It looks like no, it doesn't.
Gets the kill onto Esker, and already Void and Birdring, they've done all of the work elsewhere because the Dragon Blade came in, and it needed to be dealt with. Waka Waka's going to be able to grab both the mech and the Diva. Zumba's going to go down, and this is all looking too easy as another checkpoint is being encroached on. Lunatic-hai losing their members. Finally, they are going to get at least one back as self-destruct comes in. That's going to buy a lot of space. Miro is the pick. That is so dangerous as Esker finds himself attack visor, but not going to be able to get too many kills as everyone makes their way around the side. Sound barrier coming in now for Lunatic-hai. Really want to move this off this point.
Void
Fisher
with the protection.
getting a lot of damage, yeah.
But still, it looks like the sustained healing coming out, and Guido's now going to have this Dragon Blade. It doesn't look like this is going to be the push. Coming in 4 meters away, but Esker survives through all of this.
Well, Fish is going to get angry and throws down the Primal Rage as Guido just takes down Waka Waka. There's another one. Birdring's going to fall, and Toby's going to pick off Fisher. So finally, again, Lunatic-hai stave off Kongdoo Panthera, and this is a very difficult place to attack.
Yeah, the long
right
respawns,
on the doorstep.
Yeah, the long respawns before you get the new spawning room. And also, you know, when you talk about the stress, the pressure of trying to close out a match like this, I feel like the coordination is falling apart a little bit on the side of Panthera as we're seeing ults used desynced. Why was Fisher ulting there at the end? Why were we seeing the commitment to the Transcendence? These small mistakes starting to stack up here when they're just so desperately looking for blood here on this capture.
Well, Birdring is going to find a pulse bomb. We'll look for a pulse bomb anyway as Transcendence is actually thrown in from Luffy. Guido is going to take down Rascal immediately though. And he just used his Dragon Blade at the same time. Lijiang somehow kills himself. As Miro's going to take down Luffy on the back end. Lunatic-hai still winning this battle theoretically, but Luffy's going to respawn. He's going to make his way back towards this point, while Kongdoo Panthera still have a man advantage currently in the area.
How is Birdring still alive? Just doing so much extra damage. He's going to have a second recall in a second here.
Oh my
Insane.
God.
He gets the kill on the Zumba. Miro narrowly survives, but he almost went down. He may still go down. That's going to be the capture, but Birdring just uncontested. Yet again, the king of Tracer in this best of 5.
He is popping off.
How did he get a second recall in there when somebody was focusing him?
I don't know. It was all going wrong for everyone. And honestly, I don't know how Lijiang died. Like, how did that happen?
I'm not sure. He must have gotten booped or something and it just didn't show in the kill feed. We didn't have it on screen, but now he's switching over to this Zenyatta where he's been very weak, and you could bet Birdring's going to look for a pick onto him here as soon as he gets vision. Okay, he confirms the location, and he is very tempted to come up there and look for that pick. Eska also a vulnerable target if Zumba uses defense matrix. Okay, not going to. He knows Zumba's down here, but he wants to knock Diva out of the fight first.
Well, Miro's actually already been taken down. Lijiang is going to take down Fisher as well. It is a Winston-less battle currently, but there's the attack visor from Eska, trying to get the kills that he can. Oh, good Helix rockets, but not going to get enough damage onto Waka Waka, who will be able to heal himself back up. Kongdoo Panthera now just waiting for Fisher to return, but some control now being gained by Lunatic-hai. Is Birdring just being frustrated?
He has the health pack, so he doesn't have to recall here, which means he can come back in for another pass. Oh, he's looking for the pick on to Lijiang. Going in, the supports are together.
Oh, did he find the pulse bomb? No, he didn't.
Close call, but he comes back in with Waka Waka's help, and they get the pick. Transcendence now used on the side of Panthera. Self-destruct as well.
They're still moving this payload through as well. Rascal Falls had the ultimate available as well, so that is a huge deal. Guido coming in strong for Lunatic-hai. Now Zumba is forced to go back. We've got 20 seconds on the clock. Kongdoo Panthera trying to push through the power station.
Okay, Rascal has that ult available. They're going to have the Primal Rage. This is going to be a very tough defense for Lunatic-hai, but they're going to have to self-destruct at the very worst case scenario to defend this. Okay, here we go. Winston dives in first. Remember, Primal Rage Veil, Rascal with attack visor already. Zumba out of the fight, or sorry, Void out of the fight.
Yep, Miro,
Zumba's here.
Eska's going nuts. He's got his own tack visor, and he's getting the work done, but Primal Rage comes down. It's Fisher trying to hold on, but Kongdoo Panthera going to get wiped, and that's the overtime. Calling it over for Lunatic-hai. They hold it off, but that is a lot of distance here on Dorado for Kongdoo Panthera.
Nearly the full completion there. And at the very end only did we see Rascal struggle to find picks. He missed a few pulse bombs. The attempted pulse bomb where he almost actually knocked both supports down, Toby and Ryu. That could have been the game-winning move.
That could have been it. Birdring had to found that.
I have to give him a lot of respect throughout the entire series. He got a lot of picks, forced a lot of defense matrices to be used, stayed alive in a lot of fights, but that was actually the moment in terms of decision-making that impressed me the most, where he had the pulse bomb and he held it for so long. He could have had maybe 2 pulse bombs in the time he held it, but he wanted to look for the game-winning move. He failed to hit the pulse bomb in the end, but you have to respect his conservative nature there of hanging on to it and looking for that money shot.
Yep, so right on that corner is where Kongdoo Panthera need to push this payload if they want to end this series right here. This is their opportunity to answer back for what was a pretty devastating reverse sweep in the first round, because Kongdoo Panthera in their first 2 matches looked so strong, and then it all fell apart as Lunatic-hai just won that mental battle and swept them all the way back through.
Now, this is a very scary moment for Lunatic-hai because of the fact that in this moment they're mortal. I mean, quite literally, if they cannot push all the way, that's it for them in this best of 5. They drop down to the losers match. The most stressful moment for them in this series is right now. There's very much a concrete limit on what they have to do in terms of compositions here. Is it going to be the attack Junkrat? Switch to it. Okay, no. That would have been sick. I was hoping for it. Oh well.
We got no smites on this particular roster.
Could it be, for the most part, mirror compositions? Rascal, though, on the Soldier, and Lijiang swaps over to the Pharaoh. What?
Okay, we're going to go single support, triple DPS. Lijiang just going to go head back to home and say, all right, I was just trolling for
Perhaps just looking for some extra information or a big blast to knock everyone off the high ground, but
well, Gito's going to kill Birdring, so that is obviously something went right for Lunatic-hai. Birdring will respawn and now find his way back in, but that has bought a lot of space with that man advantage. Gito able to move so far forward as well. Kongdoo Panthera taking a lot of damage from Eska as well. It's just a field day in this alley.
Just better defense, though, from Void. They dove onto Rascal specifically. He has so much self-healing as well, they just couldn't break through. And they end up losing Zumba as a result, and this push is going to be, for the most part, halted.
Yeah, the trade is going to be for Fisher, though, as Eska does get Void's mech. So not a lot of frontline now remaining as this payload continuing to move forward. Rascal, he wants to set himself up position. Kongdoo Panthera just trying to keep him alive as best as possible. Miro makes his way in. Eska,
nice
pulse bomb comes in, and Void is going to be taken down with the help of that pulse bomb.
Yeah, it doesn't stick, but he gets a lot of extra damage done there. Birdring's not as successful. Here's the big Transcendence coming in now, so to force this point. Sound barrier to answer, though.
Yeah, it's nicely done from Lunatic-hai. They're very close as Gito is going to get the dash kill. They're picking up kills left, right, and center here for Lunatic-hai. And there we go. The first checkpoint should be taken very quickly.
It's another one of these moments where an unnecessary ult came in. Rascal with the tack visor there could give credit to Waka Waka for the sound barrier, but the tack visor was used so late it was hardly ever going to find an impact, right? So that's going to be unfortunate. He doesn't have it. He could build it up fairly quickly, but it's a really important moment where Soldier gets the free high ground with the tack visor. Would have liked to have it to defend this next push through the middle phase. I don't want to call it Streets phase. It's kind of a Streets phase.
Streets-ish.
Streets-ish, a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, they're on the street, so.
Often when you're pushing a cart through something, it has to be some kind of street. But look at this, Gito. He's going nuts. He's got himself the Dragon Blade and he's taken down Waka Waka already. Transcendence from Luffy. He's going to try and deny it, but it's just not good enough as Eska picks his moment and takes down Rascal exactly when he needs to.
This is the Eska that's on point. This is the Eska the fans have been looking for all best of 5. Good track here.
Yeah, Pulse Bomb's going to come in. That's going to be Miro falling down, so Birdring gets at least something back. But you're right, this is all about Eska. has a pulse bomb, is not going to trip on this one, I have a feeling.
You have to be critical of these ults, though. I mean, these ults that we're seeing that feel like solo kill. It's like, oh, I'm going to die, but ha, got you. But, well, now you don't have your pulse bomb anymore. Now you don't have your tac visor anymore. Now you don't have your transcendence anymore. We've seen so many of them on this map specifically. It just feels like Panthera is not communicating well anymore. Telling people to hold their ults, look for specific holds. Struggling here on Dorado. So the ult advantage still goes to Lunatic-hai despite the strong push.
Well, that is going to be a pulse bomb doing absolutely nothing. As Eska threw it straight into a defense matrix. Miro's, however, still going to be able to get the work done. Rascal's going to commit suicide onto Giddo, unfortunately. There's the self-destruct. Not exactly where they want it to be. Zumba, he's got his as well.
They really want to stop this cap because this is the money point. This is where you do commit the ults to hold it because you absolutely want those long respawns. This is the toughest point, quite literally right here in terms of respawn walkbacks.
Void also wanted just to get his health bar back, so threw down the self-destruct, got straight back into the mech one more time, and he's happy to build that up again.
Exactly, that's the kind of commitment you need if you're not going to get kills, just to make sure you hold this point.
And also now getting the control of all of these flanks that Broderick has an opportunity to get to is Giddo. He's going to jump in. It's a decent biotic field, but Eska's going to be able to take him down. And look at this. The kill's just streaming in for Lunatic-hai. They are going down low, but it's not low enough. Birdering gets Lijiang, but who cares? Toby's getting boop kills onto Void. They should make it to the second point.
That they will, and I don't know what the coach said to them in that booth, but it sure as hell is working.
They gave them Michael's secret stuff if you guys have been watching your Space Jam. That's what it could be.
That's what it feels like, and it feels that the momentum has shifted completely from Panthera, who's shown great ult coordination. Birdring and Rascal went together on the Genji and the Tracer, wrecking so much havoc, but on the Soldier, Rascal has been very low impact here on defense.
Oh! Eska's going to get picked up.
Speaking of which, he gets at least this one.
Yep, so Rascal's going to be able to do some work. Zumba taking some control.
He's out of the picture, though, which means Rascal can find a little bit of extra damage here. Looks like they're just going to reset for another push instead.
I like the control of this choke point, though, that Kongdoo Panthera do have with the high ground advantage. Should be jumping through any time now.
Giddo looking for another pick. Here's the dive together with Miro, as you said. Waiting for this moment, this opportunity. Forcing out the Transcendence.
Wow.
So nice.
They thought that he used the Dragon Blade, I think. Now he's going to pull it out as a Transcendence, and Zumba's already picked up a kill. And look at this, Lunatic-hai. Giddo is a monster. That was so beautifully orchestrated. We'll see whether this is enough picks to try and get the victory as self-destruct finds no one. Fisher takes down Lijiang, but Eska's still there. He's going to punish the monkey for that one. As Zumba's going to reset his health bar on his mech by using a self-destruct of his own. Kongdoo Panthera, they do have the sound barrier to try and help themselves out. As Rascal tried to get some kills back, but Giddo's dealt with Void. And finally, Rascal sends him to the death chamber.
Such a beautiful use there of the harassment coming up from Giddo, forcing the Transcendence, waiting for the Dragon Blade right after that. Coordination way better right now for Lunatic-hai. And they not only they use a lot of ults here, but they have 2 minutes left to actually complete this point now. So even though they used a lot, they have a lot of time to eco push their way into a 6 ult push, or just get a pick and look for the finish that way.
Remember, they don't even need to get the finish because Kongdoo Panthera couldn't get it all the way forward. So they only need to make it to that second corner. Sound barrier from Lunatic-hai. They want to try and own this one, but Toby's going to take down Birdring. They're not going to find any kills with the Pulse Bomb, but it doesn't seem to matter as Fisher's going to go down. Giddo building towards his Dragon Blade. Only 5% to go, but Eska, he's the one that's able to pick up the kills, and Void is pivotal for this Kongdoo Panthera roster, and there's
a Dragon Blade. They're just going to camp this, force this in. Transcendence, one last attempt here from Panthera. Rascal doesn't have the Dragon Blade, but he does get the pick on Giddo after that Dragon Blade expires.
Oh, they are so incredibly close. It's a meter. They have to be on this payload, but Luffy is going to get dove on and taken down. Waka Waka answers with the kill on Eska's
down. This push is over, I think.
Oh, Void, he picks up Zumba, so that's going to be that. Fisher takes down Lijiang as well, but look at this car park.
Lunatic-hai saw blood in the water. They committed so much to that, including the Dragon Blade. That's the most important part. Now they're not going to have that, and 2 minutes becomes 35 seconds.
Exactly right, and we've got Void's infamous self-destruct to get them off this.
Plus the sound barrier, the primal rage, the Dragon Blade, so many defensive tactics here. Lunatic-hai may have gotten a little bit ahead of themselves here. 23 seconds left to go.
And remember last time this was with a pick on Birdring very early on. He's going to recall his way back.
Pulse
Comes
from
in.
Eden!
Oh, it's Eden immediately. Kongdoo Panthera,
Dragon
they
Blade.
have themselves all of the tools to work
The
with.
self-destruct.
Even gets the self-destruct kill on Nikito of all people. Kongdoo Panthera could have just written this script right here. The time ticks down.
That is going to be it. If no one can get on this point, they're rushing through. No one's nearby. The crowd is silent because this time Panthera will seal the deal. They will take the 3-1 victory. They are pumped up. And what a series to bring it back there. Handling that aggressive push. Lunatic-hai saw blood in the water. Guido spawn capping with the Dragon Blade. They committed so many ults. But then, when it didn't come through, when it didn't work out in the end, Zumba goes down. Panthera has the ult advantage. The Sound Barrier, the self-destructs, the Dragon Blades. So well done. An overcommit by Lunatic-hai in that last moment. And Panthera has got to be happy about this one. You can see it on their faces.
Happiest little Sailor Moons I have ever seen, Wolf. And I just want to have a shout out to the level of Overwatch that we just witnessed. Even if you just isolate that particular Dorado with the ultimate tactics, with waiting until you can bait out certain ults and making sure that you can utilize them, just because, things like Transcendence, that is going to be the counter to the Dragon Blade. Everyone knows that. So Luffy sees this Genji dive in to try and kill him, right? And he's like, well, better press the Q button. But Guido knows that already, holds onto that Dragon Blade. But then it's all about timing. And Kongdoo Panthera, they hold on without having to invest the ultimates because they know they'll need them. It got to the very end and just couldn't push it that extra distance, and enough kills were committed so you weren't going to get any stream-in kills. Just stunning out of Kongdoo Panthera. And look at this, Miro, it's not the confidence that we see on this man's face.
No, it certainly is not. And
it's going to be them facing off against CONBOX
That's
Spirit
right.
next time around. So LW Blue waiting for Kongdoo Panthera, and that is going to be a sick matchup.
I mean, when you look at CONBOX as well, they've been a team that's so much unpredictable, so difficult to prepare for. So really frustrating. And, the crowd is mostly silent, as, 80% of the people in the crowd are Lunatic-hai fans. And this is heartbreaking. The crowd was blowing up, and it looked like they were going to finish. People were jumping out of their seats, but it just isn't over till it's over. And I feel like the big holes in the play of Lunatic-hai today were absolutely on Lijiang.
Yeah.
Positioning mistakes, weak accuracy, just getting punished, forcing Zumba out of position. When you look at Zumba, you look at him alone, it may look like he's made a lot of mistakes in terms of defense matrix usage, but when you have two good harassments coming out from Rascal and Birdring at the same time, and you're forced to back off and protect someone, one of your teammates who's out of position, you look weak in that moment because you keep getting picked off. But if you don't protect Lijiang, he just dies anyway. So some positioning mistakes from Lunatic-hai. The coordination to defend those positioning mistakes was good, but it always gave the advantage to Panthera in those fights, especially on the defense.
But I think a lot of it comes down to the fact that, yes, Kongdoo Panthera are this team that have such incredible DPS players. Like, the level of mechanical skill for these guys is off the charts, and you can just see what they're capable of when they can get that coordination. It's almost like no one can stand up to them. I can't wait for Afreeca Freecs Blue or LW Blue, which we are going to see, face off against this team because they've been isolated away from these other challenges, and that will be so epic. So going back, Afreeca Freecs Blue, clean sweep over Meta Athena, who still have some questions to be answered as far as their play is concerned. But Lunatic-hai still looked good. They still looked like their Season 2 championship selves, but just felt like Kongdoo Panthera finally found that secret stuff that they needed, especially on Dorado.
They got over the hump. I feel like when you go back and watch the series between them in the round of 16, it looked like overall they were the better team, but they couldn't actually execute when it mattered. Today they struggled, even on Dorado, in a very similar situation, but when it mattered most, they're on the defense at the end. They came through. So, as mentioned, for Group A, EnVyUs will face off against Meta Athena in the losers match. The rematch. I'm hyped about that one. And then X6 will face Afreeca Freecs Blue. They already 3-0'd them before. They're 12-0 this season now. They're looking to make it 15. They could have a flawless run to the finals if they keep this up.
Could you imagine that? Afreeca Freecs Blue just don't lose and then flawlessly enter the finals and just demolish that one as well. I don't know. I feel like that would be kind of awful because it's all one-sided matches, but it would be phenomenal if they're able to keep that one up. Against some of these teams, though, it will be very difficult. You've got LW Blue versus Kongdoo Panthera in our winners side of the bracket, and then CONBOX Spirit, our wild cards, up against Lunatic-hai, our Season 2 champions. That will be an interesting matchup, but I cannot wait for LW Blue to take on Kongdoo Panthera because both of these teams have looked very, very good, and after Kongdoo Panthera's 3-1 victory that we just witnessed, LW Blue is going to be one hell of an opponent for this team.
I mean, it looks like that almost feels like a preview to the finals or something like that. Like, how can that match disappoint? So here's our schedules, of course, on Friday. So those matches we talked about, the winners matches will be on Friday. The losers matches, if you're an EnVyUs fan and you're wondering when will they be playing, when will they have that rematch against Meta Athena, those of course will be on Tuesday. But the highlight matches, the winners, of course, of the two we just saw on screen there, will go directly to the semifinals. So big night on Friday.
Oh man, and we're really coming, when you've got 16 teams in a tournament like this, when you finally get these teams floating to the top, the strong ones that have really stood out, Afreeca Freecs Blue undefeated, LW Blue looking very, very strong as well, and then of course Lunatic-hai, Kongdoo Panthera. There are so many of these names that I really, really want to see face off. I cannot wait for Kongdoo Panthera versus LW Blue. Already mentioned it, but the rematch between X6 and Afreeca Freecs Blue to see whether we've got 15-0 and Meta Athena versus... Oh, everything is good here at Apex Season 3, ladies and gentlemen. We will see you back here on Friday, though. Have a good night.